for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kusa. You ain't here for my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I won't always smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me?
Right. Hello, everyone. Y'all caught me. Y'all caught me in the middle of thinking about something. Okay. So, hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Shakur, and this is your morning wake up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, I see Measure Man is starting us off with a donation. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Says, let's start it off right. All right, well, grand rising to you, beloved, and thank you so much. Okay, so, y'all, it is about to be a good morning, all right? And then here comes Sheila. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Y'all are being real nice. Y'all know the Queen's birthday is Friday. Okay, I'm going to be turning 25 again. Please pay attention. Okay, so anyway, listen. You all, from what I've heard in the streets, Trump's State of the Union address was boring. Okay, people were falling asleep. People were leaving. Okay, like 70 members of Congress didn't even come because they boycotted, and they were at the one the Midas Touch had, the People's State of the Union, and that's the one I was watching. Okay, so now with that all being said, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Let's see who's in here. Christy One Love, Christopher, Desmond, Ron's Flat Power God, Lyoya is here, Human Nature, said bright and early. I know that's right. Okay, Claudette, Deronda, Nessa G, Dangerous. All right, Cherokee Descendant, Dale. Let's get into it. 504 Nola, Miss AP Prayers. All right, Political Wins. Okay, Alice, Vince, I am all the way from the UK, Mally C. All right, let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. And of course, Measurement. Measurement said it was a hot mess. Indeed, it was from what I heard. We're going to look at some clips of what people are saying about it. Okay, so with that all been said, everybody hit that like button, like, share, subscribe, and all of that. We're about to get into it, honey. We're about to go in on 50-50. Baby, I think you done messed up. It looks like 50 done effed around and found out. Okay, I put the word out on him, and we got paperwork. Oh yeah, we got paperwork. 50, we got your paperwork, boo boo. When he was talking all that slick stuff about T, I said, now don't let me find some paperwork on him. And you know, somebody sent me the paperwork that Tasha K got because somebody sent it to Tasha K. So now 50 cents. Yikes! It's not looking good. Okay, it is not looking good. Let me stop grinning like a Cheshire cat because I am so thrilled about it. Okay, Sheila is here. All right, Emperor Rex. All right, y'all know I love me some Rose. Queen Koya is here. Now, before we get started with the nefariousness of it all, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget she sells beard oil. Okay, now I'm trying to forgot to thank two people for their super chats yesterday. I noticed it when I was watching the live playback. Because y'all know I go back and read the chat so I can get a laugh or two. But so I know that it was Laverne. Laverne, thank you for your contribution, beloved. Yesterday, I put it on the screen and forgot to thank you for it because I was running my mouth. And Laverne asked me, I want to say the other person may have been Mally C. I think Mally C was the other person. Okay, so thank you, Mally, for your contribution on yesterday. Now, I did read your comment, but I didn't even read Laverne's comment. Laverne asked if I would do another story or do another broadcast about the narcissist. And the answer is yes, I absolutely will. Okay, we'll talk more about malignant narcissists, which is what Trump is. Okay, we'll talk about it. Okay, so maybe I'll do that this weekend. Maybe I'll do it for members only. Maybe I'll do it just for everybody. But nonetheless, we'll squeeze that in. Okay, so now let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. So with that all being said, because let me tell y'all something. It's a whole lot going on. And let me just show you all what I found out before I started the live. Y'all know I'm always late for good reason. Let me just show you all what I found out before I started the live. So I found out, honey, I can't even put it into words because you really can't make this stuff up like Alex Jones said. And why am I agreeing with Alex Jones? I absolutely can't stand that man. But he had receipts. And then so I went looking for those receipts. And let's get into it. This is all nefarious. Okay, so now here's the thing. Ghislaine Maxwell's sister, she supposedly has twin sisters. They're not her twins, but they're twins, I do believe. But let's get into it. Now I'm going to put an overlay on this. This is what I saw on X this morning. And I went to do a little double checking just to make sure his receipts were accurate, and they are. Okay, because I got the same receipts and posted them on my thing. Okay, so let's get into it. Listen to this.
Who are Ghislaine Maxwell's sisters? London Telegraph. That's from 5 years ago. But now the documents come out that Christine Maxwell has run for a decade the DOJ's investigative data warehouse, IDW system, including entire encryption key system and anti-terrorism data warehouse. Mossad, CIA, MI6. And then what's the other sister do? She runs the WEF UN program.
Y'all see this? Ghislaine Maxwell's sister, Christine, managed the FBI's computer system and its anti-terrorism data warehouse through her company, Chiliad and Magellan, and also the DOJ's investigative data warehouse, IDW system, including the entire encryption key system. Now, y'all wonder why we haven't been gotten these files and all this, and why all this stuff's going the way it's going.
Can't
Are y'all kidding me?
Make that up. Overhead shot. I got all the documents right here.
Do y'all hear this? I find it all so nefarious. I find it all so nefarious. Now,
I'll get these on record.
that That's clearly crazy work. Hold on. I was about to take him off the screen, but hold on.
Now you're starting to figure out how this works? All because he was the head of the Trial Commission. Yep, he was the stand-in for David Rockefeller. Rolling Economic Forum, she runs the computers with the UN. Interpol, you name it.
There they go right there. I mean, how does this even happen? Can you all believe it? Can you all believe these connections? Like, this is really crazy. Okay? Anywho, I find it all interesting. These people had a whole network of nefarious going on. And it's still going on, in my opinion. Jeffrey Epstein is not even dead. I saw a picture. I don't know if it was AI, but there was a picture passing around. The fact that I don't know if it's AI is why I didn't even show it. I saw it like 2 weeks ago. But so that being said, this is all very interesting. Also, Lex Wessner, in his deposition about Epstein, he said that Epstein worked for the entire Rothschild family over in France. Jeffrey Epstein ran a transnational criminal enterprise, underage human trafficking, blackmail ring for the Rothschilds. That's what he said. Aren't they one of the 13 families that allegedly people have been talking about for decades, runs things? I find it all interesting. Okay? But hold on. Hold on. Because there was something else somebody posted that I thought was very interesting too. The Justice Department has withheld notes and memos reflecting FBI interviews from its release of the Epstein files, including interviews of a woman who accuses President Donald Trump of sexually abusing her when she was a minor. Okay, we know that. I reported that days ago, but hold on. There was something else. Lord, and they got Stephen Hawking out here. This is a sad shame. Stephen Hawking from the scientific community. Remember I told you all that they said he was very close to Epstein? They got pictures of him. Professor Stephen Hawking seen grinning from ear to ear, sandwiched between two bikini-clad women in latest jaw-dropping Epstein file photos. Let me just go to this. It's all sad. This is all sad. Like, this world literally, or this country specifically, is not what we all thought it was. I mean, we Black people knew it was nefarious, but I'm just saying, some of these things, you know, like these people having ties to our school and being able to get in touch with people's children or just go and confiscate people's children, CPS, DFCS, and all that. Life Touch. This is it right here. This is what I was looking for. Now listen to this. Remember that place I keep telling you all about in a land far away that we're not supposed to mention? Well, it says that's also why when X added a feature to see where accounts are based, we saw that the DHS is based in Israel since 2008. The feature was shut off again until they fixed the glitch because they didn't intend for anyone to see that, I guess. But do y'all hear this? And they posted the screenshot, Homeland Security, DHS, about this account. Date joined July of 2008, verified since December 2009. Okay? Now, why would that be? Why would that be? Bombshell. Department of Homeland Security Twitter account was set up from you know where when Jewish Michael Sh0t, I guess when he was in charge. This is all very interesting. Okay, anyway, let's get back into it. Very interesting, right? Now let's go in on Trump about this lame State of the Union address that he did. Okay, I'm going to go to some clips. Like so, everyone, please don't forget to like and share. We're going to go first to a clip from MS Now from a few hours ago, where they say they were trying to put fear in white America.
Old tropes about immigrants and creating fears in white America, because he did not want to deal with what his administration did in the killing of 2 American citizens in Minnesota. He never mentioned their names. Did he talk about ICE? Did he really kind of get into what they're doing? No. can't, because the polls are telling him you don't want to talk about this.
Well, that didn't stop him from talking about tariffs, which the polls also told him not to.
Come on, everybody got a standing ovation on his cabinet, but Christy Nome.
But here's the thing: that piece that's stuck in his brain. That's his raison d'etre. That's his whole storyline. I know I went a little French on y'all up here at 1 something in the morning. But the reality of it is, he wanted to bring up the fear that Americans have about others. And that's why he went through talking about what immigrants did to all of these American citizens. So he had a strategy to deal with the thing he didn't want to deal with.
I mean, that's so interesting. He wants to bring up immigrants and what they've done. Why don't he talk about the history of America and people who look like him and the things they've done? I'm sure it's 1,000 times worse. Okay, the immigrants could never outdo them. All right, please pay attention. Now let's go to Representative Al Green, because he walked up in there with a sign talking about black people are not apes. And it looked like somebody at one point was trying to snatch it out of his hand in one of the clips I saw.
Tonight, I wanted him to have a person confront him and let him know that black people aren't apes, that black people are not going to tolerate this kind of behavior. I don't speak for everybody, but I speak for people of goodwill who understand that if you tolerate this kind of behavior, you perpetuate it. I refuse to tolerate this level of hate that the president is in fact putting into policy. We must take a stand against this level of invidious discrimination. I wanted him to know, and I wanted him to see it and hear it up close. But judging from the expression on his face, he got the message.
Did he get the message though? Because we know Trump's hard of hearing when it's not anything that he wants to hear. Okay, and then here we have a 70-year-old veteran still going off. You all have seen this man before. He said he's still angry.
Angry. I'm 70 years old. Angry. I am still angry, and I'll continue doing whatever it takes to get rid of this regime. We're in danger. This is the worst danger the U.S. has ever been in, I believe, and we have to vote our way out of it. I'm just angry.
Poor man. I hope it gets better for him, for all of us at the end of the day. And here goes Trump lying, talking about how good everything is. His ridiculous self.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it.
The State of the Union speech was last night, and if you missed it, it went exactly how you thought it was going to go. All the rhetoric that you thought he was going to say, he said it. All the fussing and yelling, it happened. But he did say one thing that caught my attention, and we need to address it.
And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
Clearly, he has not learned his lesson when it comes to making promises that he knows he can't keep. Let's just do some simple math to make you understand why this would never happen. In the year 2025, we're taking $195 billion when it comes to tariff revenue. Now, I want you to keep that in mind, okay? When it comes to federal taxes, we took in over $5 trillion, almost $5.3 trillion in federal taxes. Now, the last time I checked, trillions are a lot more than billions, but this is not where this ends. In 2025, we spent over $7 trillion. You ever heard of the term deficit? And by simply doing the math, if you wanted to get rid of federal taxes by implementing more tariffs, he would have to raise tariffs over 120%. Now, what do you think would happen to the cost of goods if he did that? What do you think? You think it's just going to be free? You're just going to get taxed on the back end another way at your grocery store, or when you go buy a car, or when you got to go get some kind of maintenance done to your house, or when you buy a home, when you need something built. It will always come on the back end because, like y'all like to say, nothing in the United States is free. I mean, just look at our face. It says it all.
We can.
He said, look at her face, it says it all. Doesn't it, though? Now, Mally C said, why are the Dems not calling for impeachment? Good question, beloved. Thank you for your question and also for your insights to the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. I appreciate you. Here's the reason why. They don't really have to say anything because they know that he's going to lose, that the Republicans are going to lose the midterms. And as soon as they do, he is going to be impeached. I'm pretty sure of it. Now, if not, then I'm going to have some serious questions. But, you know, they had talked about impeaching him and filing Article 2 and all of that. But I was like, what's taking them so long? After midterms, it's a wrap for the Republican spirit, in my opinion. Okay? I think that's what he's going to be impeached, and hopefully Bondi. Okay, hopefully Bondi will be impeached also. I heard whispers that JD Vance and Trump might be impeached.
President working to make life more affordable for you and your family? We all know the answer is no. But as the president spoke of his perceived successes tonight, he continues to cede economic power and technological strength to Russia, bow down to China, bow down to a Russian dictator, and make plans for war with Iran. Here's the truth. Over the last year, through Doge, mass firings, and the appointment of deeply unserious people to our nation's most serious positions, our president has endangered the long and storied history of the United States of America being a force.
He absolutely is trying to cheat. I see you all saying in the chat that that's why he's trying to cheat Barella Sloan. Yes, absolutely. And they say that he's supposed to have ICE agents dispatched to the polling centers, and that is likely to intimidate the immigrants. Okay, because a lot of immigrants vote for Democrats as well. So that's what that would be all about. Okay, let's go to this next clip. He is so ridiculous. None of it's going to do him any good. They're still going to lose those midterms.
Nation is back. Bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
President Trump devoted significant portions of this record-long State of the Union address to two key issues: immigration.
Today, our border is secure.
And the economy.
The roaring economy is roaring like never before.
And with both of those issues, Trump tried to make the case that things are better under his watch. On immigration, he said that his predecessors' open border policies, as Trump called them, resulted in a flood of undocumented immigrants entering the country, but that under Trump, that has changed.
The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress.
But Trump was really reaching out to people who he thinks believe immigration is a winning issue for Republicans in the fall. It remains to be seen if that's the case, however, because polls show that a majority of Americans are unhappy with the tactics of ICE, the tactics of his immigration crackdown. On the economy, he said that jobs are coming back. He said that the country's taking in trillions. That was another notable moment where he doubled down on his main message that the economy is better. There weren't a lot of specifics, though, for everyday Americans watching at home about how their lives have improved. This was a highly partisan speech.
These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
It was tense.
They're blocking the removal.
It was divisive. What we saw was a president laser focused on the Republican Party base. There was not a lot of instance of him reaching out across the aisle, trying to engage Democrats.
Okay, he's so one-sided with his stupid self. Now, this is what Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had to say. Terry Hinn said Trump is believing his own delusional mind. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing, beloved.
Is going to be long, painful, and tedious for the American people. We know how tonight works. Trump will claim that everything in America is going great. He's in a huge bubble. America is deeply unhappy with Trump's leadership. And he'll blame everyone else for our country's troubles. He'll blame Biden. He'll blame the Supreme Court. He'll point the finger at everyone but himself. But tonight, the American people will see a president whose ego does not let him see reality, the reality of the pain in America because of Trump's policies. Costs, chaos, corruption is what they lead to. Never in our lifetime have we gone into a State of the Union where the president's rhetoric and the country's reality are so far apart. Donald Trump's first year back in office can be boiled down to 3 words: costs, chaos, corruption. That's the slogan of Trump 2.0. Costs, chaos, corruption. That's what his administration brings to the American people. Let's start.
Okay, I'm going to stop him right there. I don't want to be listening to these all day. Now, let's go to Lion MAGA Mike. acting like this is the best speech that he ever heard in history. Okay, he is really licking between Trump's toes, if you ask me.
Speech tonight, I think it was one of the best State of the Unions in history. It was officially the longest one because he had a lot of wins to tout and a lot of great messages to present to the American people.
I was very disappointed that President Trump did not take this opportunity to recognize that Russia is the aggressor in Ukraine, that our valued NATO allies have stepped forward and are investing in Ukraine's defense. He did make a reference to that. But bluntly, rather than rolling out the red carpet for Putin, as President Trump did when he welcomed him to Alaska, he should be increasing pressure.
One thing I'm a little vague about, are we going to attack Iran for nuclear weapons? Or are we going to try to regime change? And I get mixed signals. I am of the opinion you're not going to be able to eliminate nuclear weapons with this regime. And I'm very bothered by estimates that up to 50,000 people have been murdered in the last month in our country. I think we can't tolerate that.
They're very frustrated, very afraid, and really could see through all the gaslighting. There were so many moments there where he was talking about the price of everything being down. Like, I just have had several roundtables with businesses and community members saying the complete exact opposite with data.
It was
He is saying exactly what's the opposite of data. And listen, so I was watching Don Lemon. Oh, and let me just say this. Do you know that the DHS confiscated Don Lemon's phone? Why do they need his phone? Yeah, they took his phone. He said he's got everything in there from like heads of state, big time people that he deals with and knows and all of that, even former presidents and whatnot. They took his phone. Okay, and he said wishes they would hurry up and give it back. But just imagine them going all through his phone. And but so anyway, they were just talking about, all these lies and everything that Trump says. And Don Lemon said that when he interviewed Trump before, Trump would bring him the statistics. He would bring him like the polls that he wanted him to read from, instead of the real ones that are accurate. Like, here are the polls right here. Who does that? Okay, who does that? But let's go to the polls. Okay, we're going to go to it after this next clip. We're going to go to the polls. And these polls were published by Fox News. I wonder if Trump's going to be mad at them for telling the truth.
6 months ago, half of the White House was torn down and is still sitting empty. And that budget went from $250 million to $400 million, and zero construction has been started. We are in $39 trillion of debt that has been increased the last 13 months, almost $3 trillion. Every social program for people who pay taxes have been canceled. Most social agencies, such as the FAA, has been reduced. The EPA, the Consumer Protection Board, student loans are an absolute disaster. We have bombed 10 countries. We're getting ready to bomb a second one for the second time. That would be Iran, where we have 17 ships sitting in the Mediterranean, costing us billions and billions of dollars. We already are spending a record-breaking almost $1 trillion on the military. We kidnapped another country's president, and we still have him, and we stole their oil. But before that, we've bombed, 14 fishermen boats with no due process, no proof to anyone that there were drugs on board. Everybody in the world is currently boycotting the USA for tourism, which is going to cost us billions of dollars. Farmers are still begging. We have a $49 billion trade deficit. Our GDP was only 1.34% for third quarter 2025. These are things that the president will not tell you tonight on the State of the Union, and so much more. There, I saved you the time watching lies. If you want to know the truth about the economy and
Yeah, she did save your time, honey. At the end of the day, if you want to know the truth about the economy, don't listen to Trump. Now, here is the latest polls, and this is what Fox News, they didn't publish it. They showed this, and this is published by the Washington Post. Now, let's get into it. He's probably going to be so mad at them. All right, and this is pretty accurate if you ask me. This is pretty accurate if you ask me. Now look at this. Look at this. It's going way down, Trump. Sit down. 34%, probably even lower. Okay? It's not looking good. It's not looking good for you, Trump. Sadly for him. Okay, and measurement said more people watched Midas than him. He's mad. Yeah, the last I checked, it was like over 2 million people. Okay, measurement said judge pulled the plug in the ballroom is because it's being looked into if it's our money or quid pro quo from donors. Either way, it's under investigation. Well, here's the thing, what I heard about that. I just heard something about that this morning. Somebody was talking about it was an MS Now. And thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Yeah, they were saying that ballroom, I think I shared something about that on X. They were saying that ballroom is not done. It's not going to get done. They've had to add all this extra money into it. It's just been sitting there under construction, and it hasn't even been being worked on for months. Okay? Hasn't even been worked on for months. What the world's going on with all this money that Trump has put into it? Let him tell it. Hold on. Do I have that? Anyway, nevertheless, 1,000 ways to hide the Epstein files for dummies. Meme somebody posted. Yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, Trump's doing a whole lot of nothing. Okay? That's what he's doing. Now, with that all been said, listen, we all knew Trump was going to get up there and lie. That's all he's been doing. He's going to act like the economy's great, gas is going down, groceries are cheap, we're winning, we're raking in all this money, lying, talking about he's going to get rid of the income tax because of the tariffs and all of this. Please. He's not going to do any of that stuff. And why would anyone believe him? And now he also was criticizing Mondani yesterday because something happened with the New York Police Department, NYPD, about people throwing snowballs at them. Well, Mondani got on the news and said that it was children. And so he really wasn't upset about it. He was just talking or whatever. And it was Fox News was reporting it. And I'm reading the comments, and all the MAGA idiots that listen to Fox News, they were all just sitting there saying, oh, why we need to get rid of him. Why did they ever get him in? He doesn't care about the police. The police need to boycott. They need to quit their jobs. Just saying all this crazy stuff because kids threw snowballs at them. Okay, and they were like, that wasn't kids, it was grown folks. Well, I'm sure if it were adults, they would have likely gone to jail. Okay, now with that all being said, let's talk about DaQuain Johnson, the black man that I reported to you all. I showed you the video yesterday on my X account where he was executed, shot in the back of the head by a police officer. Well, I went and did my research to find out who this officer was. And you know what I found out? This is the same officer that killed a man a few years ago that I also reported on. Okay, and his name is Christopher Schur. And the man that he killed back then, I want to say it was 2022, his name is Patrick Lyoya. Okay, do you all remember that? He shot him in the back of the head too. I will never forget that because there was no reason for him to do it. That man got out of his car. He was complying with him. The officer started tussling with him, and then they fell to the ground. He was on Patrick Lyoya's back and shot him at point blank range to the back of his head. I saw the whole video, and I reported that to you all, and I probably showed you the video too. But at the end of the day, there was absolutely no need for him to do it. And then he lied and said that Patrick tried to grab his taser. He went to trial for it, and he got off. And so now here we are just a few months later after he got off, and guess what? Does the same thing again. Let's get into it. Like up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. First, we're going to go to DaQuain's mother. And then I'm going to show you also footage of this man, Christopher Schur, when he was on trial for the other incident when he murdered Patrick. Out here just killing black people. Robert says he recalls, okay?
The two men that stood over my son back look me in my eye and tell me why the They shot my son. I want justice for DaQuain, Trey Johnson. Okay? And I'm going to get justice. Because this, we can't let ride.
That's right.
If we let this ride, y'all might as well just get rid of y'all whole court system, period.
Before God. Yeah, at some point, y'all gonna have to stop killing us because we are this close to crashing out.
And out in the field. According to the policy, the department's highest priority is the sanctity of human life. However, officers may use deadly force when the officer has a reasonable belief that there is an imminent danger of death or serious bodily harm to the officer or to another person. The policy also says a verbal warning shall be given prior to the use of deadly force when feasible, something Chief Winstrom addressed Thursday.
You hear the back and forth with the officers. The one officer's yelling, "Show me your hands, show me your hands." It's the other one that says, "He's got a gun, he's got a gun." He then says, "He's got his hand on a gun." He says, "Yes." The reason
Let me tell you something. That's a lie that they will often say. He's got a gun. Oh, put down the gun. They say that sometimes just so they can have an excuse to shoot Black people. Now, no one has seen the gun that they claim was on the scene. Okay, no one's seen the gun that they claim was on the scene. And also, immediately after the shooting, supposedly they went knocking on people's doors to try to confiscate footage that anyone may have had. What are you doing all that for? Okay.
included that final video was because I thought it was important. But moments after that shooting, then that third video that you heard was the shooting officer saying, "I saw the barrel pointed right at me."
A lot of questions we've heard stem from how this all started and how it escalated. I also asked GRPD Chief Winstrom about the initial circumstances Thursday afternoon. What was the call initially to where you would want to stop this?
Yeah, I would like to find out, and that's I'm sure going to be when the officers are in here either tomorrow morning or the next morning to give their full statement.
So why don't you know? If the officer's going to give their full statement, why doesn't he have their full statement? Didn't they turn in reports after this? How would he not know? He's the chief of police, right? So how would he not know what was the initial circumstance for which the officers were dispersed in the first place? Or were they even called? Or did they just happen to run into him? Because people say that he was riding a bike or something. So I'm just wondering about that too. But I'm wondering also why he doesn't know.
They're going to describe it, but it doesn't seem to be a 911 call. It seems to be an officer-initiated call. So they either observed this individual, giving indications that this individual was armed with a weapon, or, like I said, it could be an anonymous.
Here's the thing. So what? If somebody's armed with a weapon, aren't we allowed to carry weapons? Now, let me just say that DaQuain, according to his mother, he was a felon and he was on parole, but that doesn't excuse them murdering him. But here's the thing. Why would they get suspicious if they saw a person with a weapon? Okay, isn't that a right to carry state? Let's continue.
Complaints or things like that. We get that all the time. Maybe it was in some establishment and someone called. So I'm just not.
He doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's just trying to hide the information or whatever, because he said maybe he was in some establishment and someone called. You just said that no one called 911. He doesn't know if it was an officer calling or what. That's what he said. So the lies. Hold on. Now, this is when his mother spoke at the Grand Rapids City Commission. There is no excuse for this as far as I'm concerned. And they want to paint this narrative that, oh, we didn't see what happened before. Well, to me, it doesn't matter, because whatever happened before, he should have been taken to jail for it, right? Why is he executed? Okay. And then this man, Christopher Schur, shot him in the back of the head while he was behind him. The same exact thing that he did with Patrick Lyoya. He was behind Patrick. He was over his back, like straddling him, from what I remember. Okay, so he did the same thing. So that's his tactic. That's a pattern at this point. And also, I heard there was a third person that was shot by that officer along with another officer, but I don't think that person died or something like that. I didn't do the research on that, but I heard somebody talking about it on their video, and I didn't even know about that one. But let's continue.
Tonight, I am DaQuan's mother. Initially, I was just gonna show up, but I think I need to speak up. I want to know at what point do us mothers of police violence, losing our children, do we get answers? It's going on a week now, and I still have no answers. I don't have an autopsy. I don't know how he died. At what point do they get to stop hiding behind you guys? At what point does that young man, I met that man. I met Sterling's mother. I've talked to Doggett's mother. At what point or what price do we have to continue to pay until we get actual justice? If he or he was to have been the ones to shot DaQuan because they, quote unquote, saw a gun that I have yet to see because I cannot get footage. Y'all get to release what you want to the public. That's not fair. Your police chief says things like, we edited this video, but then y'all have a professional try to discredit our video. We didn't edit our video.
Yeah, and why are they editing the video anyway? What are they hiding? Okay.
They did. They're refusing to give me answers. They're slandering our kids after they murdered them because they got a record? Really? That makes it right? Again, I want to say this and reiterate this. The president has a longer record than my son did. And if a police officer shot him, guess what? Y'all lock him up. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It don't matter if they said the president had a gun. If they shoot him, guess what? Y'all, that officer, that president, he ain't this color. I'm multiracial. I have a whole white side of my family standing with me. There's not a racist bone in my body or anybody else that's supporting me. But we don't just got DaQuan, we got the ICE killing people. These are all law enforcement. At what time do you elected officials really do your job that we voted y'all in for? Like, at what point do people get justice? That woman got shot for no reason. But y'all found a way. People fight, not y'all, but people like y'all found a way to cover it up so that officer didn't get charges. Like, y'all gonna be okay if we was to go out and start shooting the police?
Ma'am, if you could finish your thought, I just want to tell you, everyone gets 3 minutes, and so I'm not trying to cut
But
you
I
off.
apologize.
No, it's okay.
But what I need to know is, what are you guys going to do? When do we, the people, get the justice that we actually deserve? When do we stop electing people that promise us to do something different than the people before y'all? There was a time this stuff wasn't all this violence. When do y'all start controlling the narrative again?
Dirty devils. Now, with that all being said, listen to this. And then we're going to go to this supposed expert in use of force. He was clearly caping for the police, okay? He sounded like a whole fool to me. So, Grand Rapids Police Chief Eric Winstrom addressed the Public Safety Committee for the final time Tuesday afternoon before he departs West Michigan for a new role in Florida. Now, Winstrom had been with GRPD, Grand Rapids Police Department, less than a month, okay, when then Officer Christopher Schur shot and killed Patrick Lyoya in 2022. Now, just days before Winstrom and his family leave for Pensacola, he's leading his department through another officer-involved shooting that killed DaQuan Trey Johnson. A concerned board member brought up the latest police shooting investigation after GRPD released some pretrial redacted body-worn camera video of the incident to ask if the department would share additional footage. So let's go back to April the 4th of 2022. That was when Patrick Lyoya was killed. Now, I had some videos in my possession that I needed to get as much as I could out quickly to tell a complete. Hold on. I'm sorry, beloved, typos. Okay, it should say to tell as complete a story as I could. But I didn't want to trample on what I thought was going to be a very thorough investigation by Michigan State Police and prosecutor. And that's exactly what I did at this time. This is what Winstrom says. He said there is more police footage that is now in the hands of Michigan State Police that the public has not seen. Multiple witness videos are circulating online from different angles as well. Maybe the city doesn't want to hear this, but this, from a legal point of view, this is certainly less controversial than the Patrick Lyoya shooting. Oh, really? Okay, we'll see. There was clearly a gun recovered on the scene. There's nothing to indicate that this is that sort of level incident. He's lying. Here's the thing. Even if there was a gun on the scene, and I don't know whether there was or not, but if there was a gun on the scene, the fact of the matter is he was behind this man when he shot him in the head. There was another officer holding one of his hands, and they say that officer shot him in the hand. There was also a dog attacking him at the same time. So mind you, the dog is attacking him, biting his arm, like ripping his arm, and then they're telling him not to move. Who cannot move when a dog is mauling you? That's a setup. Them saying don't move and you're being mauled by a dog, of course you're going to move. How do you not? Okay? That's just like when they give Black people differing commands. Sit down, stand up, and then you do one or the other, and then the other officer shoots you because they're both giving you conflicting commands. I've seen it 1,000 times, and I've reported on it numerous times. Now, with that all being said, the police chief said his department would not share additional video of the shooting until the Michigan State Police wraps up its investigation and then forwards it to the Kent County prosecutor for review. Short answer is GRPD will not release anything else until the prosecutor's office makes its determination. And that's up to the MSP. But I know that even though there's a ton of evidence out there, it's not the biggest scene I've seen in the world. There aren't that many individuals who were involved in it. 2 officers and then the interviews. So I'm hopeful that their team, they had a ton of MSP detectives out there. Hopefully they can wrap it up quickly. This is what Winstrom says. Now, one committee member tossed out the question about what the officer, who has not yet been identified as, to his partner about having the barrel of Johnson's gun pointed at him. Now, I'd love to see how he was pointing the barrel at somebody when he's on his stomach and they're behind him. That's like crazy. Okay, yeah, and unfortunately, as I often say, and I don't know how much I talked about it at the press conference, but those body-worn cameras, it's one angle that doesn't tell the story. The second I put my hands up like that and you don't see anything, Winstrom says. Before further discussion could continue, Grand Rapids Mayor David LeGrand interrupted, saying, I think that's very important for the community to hear, is that there is a process for this, and it can be hard to wait for information, but it's also very important that we get this right, that we not derail the process. And that's what the mayor said. Okay, Reverend Willie Golston, the pastor of First Community AME Church, called on the city to be as transparent with their investigation as possible, saying we're all accountable in some particular way. Citizens are accountable. Police are accountable. We're all accountable. And one life is too many that continue to be lost, and seeing obviously the hundreds of guns that have been taken off the streets. But yet and still the current state in which we're in and the climate within this country and this culture. And so we're hoping in all sincerity that we'll be able to find out more as it pertains to why things are happening and what's been going on. Now, in the past 4 years, Grand Rapids has seen 12 officer-involved shootings. Grand Rapids City Manager Mark Washington thanked Chief Winstrom for his service over the past 4 years and wished him the best as his last day on March the 1st approaches. The city named 25-year-old veteran Joseph Trigg as interim chief. Okay, so now let's go to what this supposed expert, what he had to say. DaQuain report and use of force expert. He weighs in on the shooting. Like I said, he sounded like he was escaping for these officers. Okay, just to me. Here we go. That's right, Songwriter Sonny. It's 1111. Angel numbers. Pay attention.
Less than a half an hour. The family of a man shot and killed by Grand Rapids police will be speaking at a news conference. 32-year-old DaQuain Johnson died after a police chase Wednesday. Target 8's Susan Samples reports the family and community advocates will speak at this event and share citizen videos. Susan.
That's right, Brian. Community organizers are inviting the public to attend the news conference. It's scheduled to start at 6, which is now in about 15 minutes at Heroes Corner. That's at 48th and Eastern. DaQuain Johnson's family called the 32-year-old a sweetheart and a special person who did not deserve to be executed. Grand Rapids police said officers received information that Johnson had a gun and chased him as he rode a bicycle near Martin Luther King and Logan. Police showed portions of body cam video in which you can see a canine on top of Johnson and hear officers telling him to stop reaching for a gun and drop the gun before an officer shot and killed him. Family says other citizen videos make clear Johnson could not have posed a deadly threat because he was on the ground with a dog on top of him. We talked to a use of force expert.
Just because the dog has one arm or one limb and is moving the person around, that doesn't mean that they have lost the use of their other arm. And if the police have a reasonable belief that this person is armed and that he makes any movements, which we would call a furtive movement, meaning that it appears he could be reaching for a gun, then the use of deadly force would be authorized.
Somebody tell me how that makes sense. He said just because a dog has one arm, that person could still be using their other arm to try to get a gun. Who in the hell is trying to grab a gun when they're being attacked by a dog and two police are over them with guns, straddling them over their back? And by the way, his other hand wasn't free. According to the witnesses, the other officer had his other arm. Both of his arms were supposedly behind his back or away, like not near his body. The dog mauling one and the officer with the other. And then they say the officer shot him in the hand while the other officer shot him in the head. Okay, so this man sounds like a whole fool. Clearly a racist piece of ish, but let's continue.
Family was unavailable for an on-camera interview earlier, but will hold a news conference at 6 to share more citizen videos and talk about next steps. Grand Rapids Police Chief Eric Wenstrom declined to answer questions today, saying this is a Michigan State Police investigation now, which is standard procedure. At a news conference yesterday, Wenstrom showed the handgun recovered at the scene. Johnson was on parole and could not legally carry a gun. Records show he was released from jail on bond earlier this month. He also had an open drug case from an arrest last October. Community advocates, his family, his friends say none of that matters. He did not deserve to be executed.
And it doesn't. And it doesn't matter. See how they always want to try to demonize the victim? It doesn't matter. Okay, period. What did that have to do with him being killed execution style? Because my thing is, if you are a criminal and you're committing a crime and the police stop you or whatever, take them to jail. They're not supposed to play judge, jury, and executioner. And the only time they should shoot someone, especially a fatal shooting, is if the person is putting them or someone else in imminent danger. Okay, so this is a lie that they always come up with. Like,
Brian.
this is sickening to me.
Susan, thank you. In a statement today, Grand Rapids City Manager Mark Washington asked for the community's patience as the investigation plays out and to channel their emotions into constructive conversations. You can read his full statement along with other city leaders over at woodtv.com.
And this is why Black people who don't want to do a darn thing about stuff that's going on just get on my last nerve. Because at the end of the day, you do know this is going on, don't you? Has this ever stopped going on? Okay, please make it all make sense. Now let's go to this piece of ish cop, Christopher Sh0t. This is when he testified during the Patrick Lyoya trial. This is him on the witness stand.
One of the main reasons why I brought the taser into it is because I had no energy left to begin with. And we then get into a struggle over it for I don't know how long. and I'm running on fumes.
What have you been trained going all the way back to the MCLS Academy as far as action versus reaction? What have you been trained?
That action beats reaction.
And what does that mean here in that scenario for you?
If I had waited for him to point it at me, it would have been too late.
And what were you fearful of?
That he was going to use it on me and I was going to die.
Now, and you were in a...
And he's sitting there trying to look so darn sad, like, this is really ticking me off because I saw the video. He's lying, okay? He was not ever in any danger, okay, period. Now, I will say, after he started tussling with Patrick, Patrick was on, they were both on the ground, okay? And Patrick was trying to get him off of his back. He wasn't reaching for any taser or any gun or any of that. He was on that man's back and shot him in the damn head. Dirty
proximity to each other that he could do that to you.
Yes.
With how you've been trained about that device.
Yes.
Under your training, Chris, are you required to wait to be seriously injured or killed before you can resort to deadly force?
No.
So what did you do next?
I shot him.
Why?
I believe that if I hadn't done it at that time, I wasn't going to go home.
And Chris, we've been watching this video, analyzing this video and screenshots throughout this week. But in reality, is it fair the way that we're watching this and screenshots throughout this past week?
I'd argue it's not, no.
Because in reality, how much time did you have to make these decisions?
Split seconds.
After the shot, what was your energy level?
I really don't know how to describe my energy level. I mean, my energy was depleted when I got the taser out initially. I don't know how I made it through that struggle.
Let me say this. First of all, why the hell is he smiling? But let me say this. You know, these cops love to say they were in fear for their lives, they were in danger, and this and that. Well, here's the thought. If you know you're a punk ass who's scared, okay, and you're going to get afraid at the first sign of any sort of trouble, why would you go around provoking or escalating things? Why would you not de-escalate situations? Why would you stop people and harass them and then start abusing them? Purposely starting an altercation. Why would you do that? You see, I would think that if you really did not want to have problems and you really were concerned about getting home safe, that you would want to make your job as easy as possible. And that when you confront people, you would do so like you had some sense, and that you wouldn't just start grabbing on people, throwing people down, yelling, barking orders at them like they're a piece of crap. At the end of the day, see, none of the stuff they do makes any sense. Okay, none of the stuff they do makes any sense, because if you don't want drama, don't want trouble, don't want to put yourself in imminent danger, then why would they behave the way some of them do? Okay, so this is all lies and BS. I'm just sick of listening to him.
And the video speaks for itself, but could you even really stand up after you fired the shot?
No.
I hope he reaps everything he sows, period. And then some. Here's another clip of him going into the court when he was testifying for that same trial. Dirty dog. Ooh, honey. Okay, let me take a deep breath.
Tonight, former Michigan police officer Christopher Sh0t taking the stand in his murder trial.
I believe that if I hadn't done it at that time.
Former police officer, but then clearly right back on the force. Okay, Vanaya Lee says Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Exactly, beloved. Okay, exactly. And thank you for that scripture, and also for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, let me see if this is the same clip, because we don't need to watch it again.
Recounting the April 2022 day he fatally shot 26-year-old Patrick Lyoya, a refugee from the Democratic Republic of Congo, in the back of the head following a traffic stop in Grand Rapids.
My energy was depleted when I got the taser out initially. I don't know how, and I was going to die.
Levels were raised after he pulled Lyoya over for driving with an improper license plate.
Do you have a license or no?
Lyoya trying to run away from Sh0t.
19 T50. Got one running. Stop!
Sh0t saying he put all his weight and used knee strikes on Lyoya in an effort to arrest him, but that he did not stay down.
To me, what made the most sense with my level of exhaustion and
Yeah, of course, he was trying to get up. Like I told you, when they both fell to the ground, he was trying to get him off of him. And at the end of the day, he still didn't have to shoot him in the back of his head. I don't care what he says. Okay? It was an execution.
just the lack of effect with those strikes, I felt as though I needed to move to a taser just to actually interrupt the muscle function.
Sh0t losing his taser in the fight with Lyoya.
Let go of the taser!
In cell phone video shown in court, he's heard asking Lyoya to give up the weapon.
Drop taser!
Before shooting Lyoya in the back of the head, killing him. The prosecution arguing the shooting was an unjustified use of deadly force. During cross-examination today, pressing Sh0t on whether the taser held by Lyoya presented a deadly threat.
You've been working for Grand Rapids Police for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Any time where a police officer was injured, seriously injured by a taser?
Not that I'm aware of.
No police officers in Grand Rapids Police were killed by a taser.
Not that I'm aware of.
Sh0t testifying he feared if he was tased, Lyoya could then access his gun.
He never go for your gun, did he?
No.
He never put his hand on your gun.
Not that I recall.
Never touched your gun.
Not that I recall.
Lyoya's family and their attorney in court today, calling for a conviction.
If it was your child, what would you want? That's what his family wants.
And Shaquille Brewster joins us now with more. Shaq, the central question for the jury here is, was the use of deadly force warranted? That has also been addressed by expert witnesses, though, from both sides, right? Walk us through the two arguments we've heard.
Yeah, listen, jurors in this case heard testimony from experts on both sides of this case. For the prosecution, they brought on use of force experts, including one who we talked to for the show in the days after the shooting, who essentially said that the use of force was unreasonable and that the officer put himself in a more dangerous position. The defense, they brought on experts who were and are senior members of the Grand Rapids Police Department, including two who trained this officer. They said that the situation got more dangerous once Lyoya got hold of that taser. This will all come down, of course, to what jurors believe when they likely receive the case sometime next week, Ellison.
Shaq Brewster, thank you.
Low down dirty devils. First of all, the man ran because he was afraid, of course, and he grabbed that taser because he didn't want to get tased, and who would, okay? At the end of the day, honey, let me tell you something. If you're a black person in this country and you get into it with the police, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, because they love to give the police the benefit of the doubt or give them a pass and say, oh, they had to make a split-second decision, as if citizens don't either. Okay? Black people have to make split-second decisions, if you ask me, okay, when situations like that. But anyway, let's go to a couple of TikToks on this, and then we're going to move on. Okay? Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Let's see. We're just going to go to one video because the other one wants me to log in and I don't have time.
I hadn't even heard his name. I don't think I've seen anything about it. And somebody sent me the video. And DaQuain Johnson. If you haven't seen it, you might not want to. It is beyond horrifically graphic. In Grand Rapids, Michigan, a man was on a bike. I don't know the details, but apparently he was trying to evade officers. I wonder why. And the video picks up where he's on his stomach on the ground being attacked by a police dog. And there's 2 or 3 guys on his back. And the dog's just ripping his arms. He's on his stomach with his arms behind his back. And the cop just stands up and pulls out his gun and just... just straight up mafia style, just right to the back of the head, several shots. And the dog just keeps attacking him. His corpse, at least. Whew, we're not anywhere near mad enough. We're not offering nearly enough opposition. We're not standing up for ourselves and our neighbors at any level that's commensurate with what they're doing to us. I am appalled. I'm ashamed. I'm completely disgusted.
Me too, honey. Me too. Raw Will said this is an excellent scripture. Okay, you were giving that to Vanaya Lee. Okay, there is a script that is an excellent scripture. Yes, absolutely. Okay. And thank you again for that, Vanaya. And Raw Will, thank you, beloved. Okay, and for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, I appreciate you. This is just all so sad, but these things continue to happen. Does anything ever change? All of that protesting in the streets just doesn't do anything. It just doesn't do anything. At the end of the day, see, Black people, we need to start doing some boycotting around here because that's what works. That's what gets their attention. The devils only love blood and revenue. Taking that to the streets, that's not the thing. Okay, that's not what it is. We have to start hitting them in their pockets. Okay, that's what we need to do. We need to start hitting these police departments in their pockets at the end of the day. All right, this country, this government, we need to start figuring out what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. All right. And you know, another thing is a lot of these police departments' money is generated from traffic stops and traffic citations. Okay, everybody Black, y'all need to be trying to, everybody period, but specifically Black people, you need to be trying to make sure you're not doing anything to cause yourself to have to pay a citation. And then here's the thing, if you do get a citation, go to court. Don't just pay it. See, that's how they make all of their money. I'm telling you right now, they give me a traffic citation, I'm going to court every single time. Every single time. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? And I don't pay them. Period. See, you pay them because you don't want to inconvenience yourself by going to court. But to me, it's more of an inconvenience to give my money to devils that I know don't like people who look like me. Okay? That's what I do. At the end of the day, we need to start hitting these police departments in the pocket. See, here's the thing. They want people to just pay the fines online. They have it so convenient for you now. But at the end of the day, if everybody started going to court, the courts will be backlogged. The courts will be so backlogged they wouldn't be able to take it. I promise you that. And that's what everybody needs to start doing. Okay? Because I always go to court. I'm paying you nothing. Okay, I'm coming to court. All right. And then I'm gonna start speaking the law that I know, because I know traffic law and traffic court is nothing but a scam. That's all it is. It's just a way to generate revenue. It's a whole scam. All right. Period. You shouldn't have to have your car registered. It's your car. That's nothing but a scam. All of this stuff they do is just tactics they use to get money out of us. It's like extortion, in my opinion. All right. And I learned that a long time ago. So they're gonna always see me in court. That's what they're gonna always do. And I'll walk out with my money right where it was, okay, in my pocket. Now, with that all being said, I forgot to show you all this clip. So Thomas Massey yesterday, he went in and he was talking about, I'm gonna start naming the names. Hold on. Let's go to this. And then we're gonna get into 50 Cent. But this is no good self. Vanaya Lee says, like you've saying for years, sue for that pension. Exactly, beloved. That's exactly what they need to do. That lady, I hope she gets a good attorney. But yes, sue for the officer's pension. You know, they actually did that in the case of Derek Chauvin because he had like $1.5 million in his pension. That's the first time I'd heard of anybody doing that. But I have been saying that for years, since about 2020. Absolutely, beloved. And thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now let's get into what Thomas Massey was talking about. Hold on, Trump stabbed in the back as FBI agents get revenge. I'm gonna have to look into that. I might have to come back.
From Kentucky, Mr. Massey, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Congress created the Department of Justice. Congress funds the Department of Justice, and Congress is responsible for the oversight of the Department of Justice. When will we see justice? I'll tell you what I've not seen. I've not seen any arrests from the revelations in the Epstein files, over 3 million documents describing horrible things, describing unspeakable things, so much of it redacted. Over 24 people have resigned, CEOs, members of government worldwide, but I haven't seen any arrests or investigations here in the United States from this Department of Justice. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, who has since been stripped of his royalty, his royal titles due to his affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested. Peter Mandelson, who previously served as UK's ambassador to the United States, resigned in disgrace from United Kingdom's House of Lords and the Labour Party, and he's been arrested. Former Prime Minister of Norway, Torbjorn Jagland, has been charged, but we don't see any charges, arrests, or investigations in the United States. What do we see? We see our FBI director celebrating in the locker room at the Olympics overseas. It's fine to be proud of this country, but we should be proud of this country because we have a system of justice that works, and yet we do not. Who are the men that should be investigated? I'll name them right here. Leon Black. You don't even have to see past the redactions to see that this man needs to be investigated. Jess Staley, accused of terrible things. It's right there in the files. Why is he not being investigated? And Leslie Wexner, why did the FBI list him as a co-conspirator in their own documents in a child sex trafficking case and then tell him, according to him, that they had no questions for him? Why is that? Well, the Epstein Files Transparency Act requires the DOJ and the FBI to disclose to us their internal memos and emails about how they made those decisions, whether to prosecute or not prosecute. Yet they have not delivered those memos. And we still don't have the memos and documents and emails from 2008 to explain why Jeffrey Epstein was given such a light sentence in what would have been an open and shut case of child sex trafficking, which allowed him to go back and recommit these terrible crimes, create hundreds of more victims, and ensnare so many other people in his conspiracy. Where are those documents that describe those decisions? We need justice. We want the Department of Justice to get to work, and that's what they need to do now. Madam Speaker, I rise today to let the American people know that this government is under siege. All 3 branches of this government is under siege by lobbyists and lawyers from a German company named Bayer. They spent over $9 million lobbying the executive branch and the legislative branch so that they don't have to be liable for any damages that their herbicide causes, otherwise known as Roundup. And they're having some success. Now, they haven't had any success yet in this chamber to get that immunity. They've had some success in the state legislatures, which are also under siege, to get this immunity from liability. Look, the Constitution guarantees people a trial if they've been harmed. Why are we contemplating going against the Constitution? The Attorney General has opined favorably for this German company in front of the Supreme Court about getting rid of any liability that they should have for any damages. And the most recent thing that we've seen, the executive branch. By the way, the president's chief of staff and the president's attorney general work for one of the biggest lobbying firms that's received hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars from Bayer. And maybe that's why we've seen an executive order that says that The production of this chemical from this German company is a national defense priority. And we know why they're doing that. It's to keep them from having any liability. Everybody in this country deserves their day in court. This is wrong. We shouldn't succumb to the lobbyists, not in the executive branch, not in the judicial branch, and certainly not here in Congress and not in the state legislatures. But there's a lot of money at play. And I implore my colleagues to resist it and do not give them immunity. And I yield back.
The chair recognizes the.
Honey, the United States is not going to do anything because, like I told you all, if Trump goes down, they're all going down. And so they're going to sit there and continue to lie and everything else they've been doing thus far just to keep him protected. Now, let's get into 50 Cent's lowdown self because we got receipts. We got receipts, and sad for him, old dirt has now resurfaced. And you know, I actually have forgotten about some of this stuff. Ooh, 50, it's not looking good for you, boo-boo. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. And then he had the nerve to go in on Miss Tina Knowles. Oh, crazy. Hold on. Here we go. Did y'all know that 50 went in on Miss Tina Knowles? Did y'all know that once in the chat, if y'all knew that he out here on Beyonce's internet going in on her mama? Did y'all know that? Once in the chat. 50 lost his mind. Okay, but he deleted that post, but too late because we already got it. But he deleted that post. He must have thought twice. Okay, he already know Jay-Z don't play that. I don't know what this fool was thinking, but let's continue.
And 50 Cent are still going at it, and I'm not gonna lie, it feels like King Harris is taking a W in this. First, he posted this picture with 50 Cent and his son, who's a teenager, sitting on his lap, asking why your son as a teenager is still sitting on your lap. I don't know, but here's where it really gets funny, because where did he get this photo of 50 Cent holding a plastic, what y'all call it? Glizzy? Where did he get this picture from? And then the caption goes crazy. And he ends it off talking about 50 Cent's dead mama again, saying, I know she wish she was here so she could whoop yo. Somebody get this kid. He also posted a list of things about 50 Cent on his story, which include, number 1, him trying to diss Lil' Kim after she refused to go on a date with him. Called crazy to Fat Joe and then was ducking smoke because he knew he could not mess with Fat Joe on a street level. Reposted an inappropriate tape of Tiara Marie. And disrespected other women. Knew he could not mess with Rick Ross musically, so he decided to start making skits. And of course, he included the fact that 50 Cent wasn't trying to get in the versus ring with King Harris's dad, T.I. Damn. Now, 50 Cent hasn't responded yet today, but I'm going to be on the lookout. Maybe he decided that he's too old to be beefing with somebody that young, but based on 50 Cent's history, I don't think anybody's off limits. King Harris and 50 Cent are
Y'all, I just found another receipt on 50. I just found another receipt on him. It is not looking good. I repeat, it is not looking good. Okay, I just found a receipt on 50 about this man said that 50 was threatening him over his baby mom. Wow. 50 Cent, it's all going down. Okay, now let's get into it, honey, because he went in on Miss Tina Knowles.
Posted Mama Tina and Solange, and I really want to see how the Beehive handles this, because this now makes 3 women that he has went at during this entire beef. Now, Mama Tina did post a picture of Tiny this morning, basically just uplifting her, speaking life into her, basically a woman seeing another woman getting dragged online, so she wanted to pour some love into her. That's it. She didn't say nothing about this whole ongoing beef. However, 50 Cent did not like that. He didn't mention albino people again, grandmas, Then he mentioned the whole elevator stuff with Solange. Y'all, this is about to be a mess. Now, Beehive, y'all got to put y'all boots on, or are they already on? Because T.I. said if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Now, somebody just sent Tasha K some kind of paperwork saying that 50 Cent is a snitch. Now, the paperwork is really old, and it's from a lot of the stuff that we heard back in the day, but it's basically saying that he really did go and tell on Irv Gotti and all of them. Y'all, this is about to turn really ugly. Like, people were trying to keep it from going there, but I'm just wondering, why aren't you responding to these grown men? King is telling you to go dig up your dead mama. He's posting your mama's grave, and you're not saying anything about that. He brought up you attacking women and posted the video on his page. T.I. has wrote a whole song about you, and you're not responding to these grown men. Like, what is going on here? Tell me what y'all think.
We think he's a punk. That's what we think. We think he's a punk. Okay? Bullies always pick on people that are weak. See, let me tell y'all something. 50 done effed around and met his match, and that's King Harris. He done met somebody who's willing to go toe-to-toe, blow for blow, and talk all the trash and go in on him. Okay? That's what that is. Not to mention his father. Okay? Not to mention his daddy. So let's continue. Oh, going bad, honey.
Gonna have to hold me back. Because not 50 Cent taking shots at Mama Knows because of his beef with T.I., Tiny, and King Harris. Not everybody's favorite Mama Knows. Let me catch y'all up real quick before I get pissed off, before I get upset. Mama Knows posted this beautiful video of Tiny and supported her while she's catching strays in this beef between 50 Cent and T.I. and King Harris. Knows ain't saying nothing to or about 50 Cent. All she did was tell Tiny she was beautiful. That's it. And then 50 Cent posted this picture of Mama Knows with the caption saying, "I'm not gonna do it, but it's getting weird." Now the little albino kid's grandmother's getting involved. Don't.
Now he's talking about people's kids. The little albino kid's grandmother's getting involved. Man, he is going too far. He better watch his steps. Seriously.
Don't play with Mama Knows. Now you going too far. And then he posted this clip of Solange. You taking things too far, Curtis. Now leave them. Don't. Oh, you gonna make me mad. Oh no, somebody gonna have to hold me back. Cause not 50 Cent taking shots at Mama Knows because of his beef with T.I., Tiny, and King Harris. Not
Hold on, y'all. I'm still sending receipts. Okay, y'all heard it. Yeah, he did Tierra Marie dirty, and he does love to humiliate Black women. That's a fact. That is a fact. We're going to get to that in a minute, too.
That went to 50 Cent's page looking for the post about Mama Knows, I'm glad to inform you that he has removed both his shade at Mama Knows and his shade at Solange. Now, I don't know if it's because the Beehive beat us to it and started buzzing in those comments and he couldn't handle it, or if he got a call from Rock Nation because, you know, Jay-Z don't play, or if he remembered that sometimes ish goes down when there's $1 billion on a goddamn elevator. Okay, because don't make me call Solange. But either way, he know Mama Knows be sitting pretty, and we don't play about her. We don't play about her because you just going too far. Now you involving people's good mamas. And we don't play about my.
It's not looking good.
I'm going to say this. 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, show y'all every motherfucking day why them niggas shot him 9 motherfucking times. The nigga is diabolical. Every motherfucking day.
No lies detected. Now I see why. Now I see why, but hold on. Let's go to the clip because I don't know how I forgot about this. I remember when this news first hit the streets.
Mr. Jackson did. You did think so? Yes, I know so. Why do you say that? He threatened me on Monday. He did. He threatened me. Look, watch what I'll do. I'll have someone come kill you. He threatened me. He threatened me on Monday, and this is what he did. How long were you two together? We were together for 13 years. The relation just ended over a year ago. He cannot accept that I have moved on with my life. He want to strip me of everything, and I didn't allow it. I fought back, and this is what he's trying to do. He tried to kill me and his own child.
Why do you know that?
He threatened me. Told me he would. He told me he would have someone come do something to me. He told me he would say, watch what I do. I have someone come kill you. And that's what he did. That's really what he did. I know he did. There's not a doubt in my mind or my son's life. I know he did. What happened? I know he did. Did you see anything? Someone threw something through the window and the house just ignited. Couldn't even make it downstairs. We had to jump out the window. Do you think he hired someone to do it? Yes, of course. I know he's too much of a coward to do anything himself.
You're blaming 50 Cent for this?
Yes, yes. Yes,
he released a statement saying he was happy everyone got out alive.
He didn't even, if you release a statement, if you care about the child, he has no attempt to contact his child. He calls my grandmother when he's upset and he wants to talk about me. He calls my uncle, he calls my aunt. He's not made one attempt to come find out if his son is okay. So that sounds like a concerned father. A concerned father don't sign over their rights. A concerned father do not sign over legal, physical. He has no rights over Marquise, none. None. He signed away custody. He tries to make it like he's a doting, beautiful father. He's not. He's not. He is a deadbeat because it's not about monetary. He is a deadbeat.
You heard this in the middle of the night?
Yes, I did.
Talk about the custody of the house. He didn't want you to have that
No,
house.
and we was in Supreme Court. I did my deposition yesterday.
And
yesterday.
And he trashed
yesterday.
the attorney's
Yes.
office?
No, he trashed it on Monday, but I did my deposition yesterday. And they saw the evidence that I had. We had an express oral agreement, and I have proof that he said that. And this is what happened. He knew I was going to get that house.
Kids in danger?
He doesn't care. Anyone who tries to take a roof over their child's head, do they care about putting them in danger? When you know you drive around a bulletproof van all day, every night, wouldn't you want your son to be somewhere safe?
You think he would try to kill his own kids?
Yes, I think he would. He's obsessed. If he can't have me, he'd be like, no one can. He's obsessed.
So
he's very upset.
Fighting over the house right?
Yes, we were in court. We're in litigation. We're fighting over the house. Yes.
Say again, what did he tell you?
He said that he was going to have someone come kill me and watch what he does. And this is what he did.
So he threatened you?
Yes, and he has made no contact to even see how his son is doing. No contact.
You heard something in the
How
middle
upset are
of
you?
the
How
night?
frightened are you?
I'm very upset.
Now, I absolutely thought 50 did that back then. I absolutely thought he did it because that lady didn't want him anymore. And they were asking her, how come she didn't want him anymore? He's a rapper and all this and had money and all that stuff. She just felt like she didn't want to be with him anymore, apparently. Okay, and he just couldn't take no for an answer. And that was his way of retaliating because he gave her that house. Okay, so anyway, here's a clip of her more recently in June of 2025. Talking about he used to beat her and all of that. And I believe that too. Because Daphne Joy said he beat her and she probably was telling the truth. Now that you think about it.
I was pregnant with Marquise. Belly out to here.
Well, let me ask you. So Marquise, I'm pregnant with Marquise, so sitting 12 years. Why didn't you want to be with him? Just, at this point, he's a famous rapper. Gino is clicking. You know, he's a sex symbol in a sense because he's in great shape. Why wouldn't you want to be with someone at that point in his career?
Because he was abusive. Well, he still is abusive. I'm just not in his presence, but he's abusive. Emotionally, physically, he's abusive. And the last straw for me was he hit me in front of my daughter. And I said, as a mother, if I allow her to see him hit me and stay with him, what example am I setting for my daughter? And that's when that was it for me. It was that and another incident with Marquise. So it was two incidents, but it was kind of close. And there was another incident with Marquise, Yale, and Banks used to have an apartment they used to share in Manhattan. And I went to pick 50 up from there. So Marquise told me that I guess like he had a girl there, like, a girl that, he just told me something. So him and I got to an argument. He beat the mess out of me and then told Marquise, see, it's your fault. I had to whoop your mother's ass. So those were the two incidents for me that I said, no,
I forgot I was muted. Okay, so that sounds about right. I absolutely believe her because, for one, she didn't want to be with him after he's rich and he's now a famous rapper. Okay, the beatings, that makes sense. Okay, and then he signed over his rights so he didn't have to pay child support. Okay, and she allowed him to do it. So clearly she didn't care about his money at the end of the day. And then he told the son, if what she says is true, and then he told his son, oh, see what you did? You're the reason I had to beat your mama's butt. Well, that was to send the message to the son that don't be telling your mama what I'm doing. Okay, because now you see what happens when you do. That's what that is. It's the psychological torture of it all. I bet he was verbally, physically, and mentally and psychologically abusive. That's what it all sounds like. Okay, 50 Cent, honey, you had us fooled. Well, at least you had the queen fooled, honey. Okay, because I forgot all about this. I did know about it back then. But hold on. Now here's a podcast he was on where they asked him about the burning up of the house. I'm gonna put an overlay over this. And he tried to laugh it off, but he really didn't like that man asking him about it. You could tell it was obvious. Let me get my overlay.
Where I think it's your baby moms, where it's like she was kind of speaking out, and then all of a sudden the house just got burnt down.
Yeah, but you know it happens. Left eye.
See,
She burned the house down.
this nigga is crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
No. You remember where I think it's your baby moms, where it's like she was kind of speaking out, and then all of a sudden the house just got burnt down.
Yeah, but you know it happens. Left eye.
See,
She burned the house down.
this nigga is crazy. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I got the wrong version. I got the wrong clip. There was a longer clip when you could tell 50 didn't like him asking that because he was basically like, he was like, you see, he gonna ask me that? Like he gonna sit here and ask me that while we talking? Like he didn't like the fact that the guy brought it up. He laughed it off, but he was so serious. Okay, so now let's go to this clip right here. I'm gonna mute the audio. This is where they're showing the headline from where he said stuff about black women. Hold on, let me roll this back. See that? 50 Cent talks election, police reform, defends exotic versus angry black women. Do y'all remember that? See, I didn't know anything about that, but my friend James Sanders, who's now deceased, may he rest in peace. But James is the one who told me that because I was talking about 50 being so petty and funny one day, and I was like, I love 50 Cent because he's petty just like me. And he was like, he's not petty like you. He said, you're funny petty. And he said, also, do you know what he said about black women? And I was like, no. And he said, I got receipts. And he sent me that. And I was like, wow, 50, really? So I haven't liked him ever since. Okay, I haven't liked him ever since. All right. And now then we find out all this other stuff. Somebody said he doesn't need to apologize, but recognize that he hates himself deep down and projects that hate onto others who look like him. Someone says, young Pharaoh slayed this man yesterday, bruh. It's over. Now, these are all from 5 years ago. These are from 5 years ago. Okay, so anyway, now let's pull up that paperwork. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. And by the way, here's a video of his son and his mom. I'm gonna mute the sound because they're dancing and playing music. Hold on. 50 Cent baby mama goes off in the comment section. She said, he's not God. I want all the smoke. Yep, I was there with him at the precinct when he was snitching on Irvin Job. Wow, see, I didn't even know that. More receipts, pray tell. Okay, so he is a whole snitch, like I told y'all. I saw the paperwork. They're right. That's the baby mom and the son right there. The son looks just like 50. Said, now when 50 violate, I don't want to hear nothing. That's when she said, he's not God. I want all the smoke. See how people be caping for him? Okay, now here we go. Let me see, what's this right here? Yeah, here it is. This is what someone sent to Tasha K. U.S. Department of Justice, the rug enforcement, okay? All right, Brian Smith. And then over here it says Curtis Jackson. The date this was prepared, October the 13th of 2009. On or about October the 9th of 2009, S.A. Brian Smith received an anonymous call from cell phone number, and that's redacted. The caller stated that we should investigate Janae Rosemond, aka James Rosemond, aka Jimmy Henchman, in regards to the Lowell Fletcher, aka Lottie Mack homicide. Now, after further investigation, it was discovered that the phone used to place the anonymous tip was connected to Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. This ninja made a whole anonymous tip. You all hear this? This ninja. Wait a minute. Are you serious? Sheila said 50 Cent's mom died in a fire, and you gonna set your baby mama house on fire with your son in it? Hold on. Let me look that up real quick. It says she was a rug dealer. Say what now? Jackson was born in Queens, New York City, and raised in the South Jamaica neighborhood by his mother Sabrina, a rug dealer. Don't let King Harris find out she sold rugs, honey. It's gonna be all she wrote. All 50 wrote. Sabrina raised Jackson until she died in a fire when Jackson was 8 years old. So he tried to do to his baby mom and son what happened to him. That's what it sounds like. Jackson said this in an interview, and he also said she was a lesbian. Y'all hear this? All the favorites, honey. Let me continue. Okay, so anyway, goes on to say that the phone number that gave the anonymous tip was connected to Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Now, on October the 12th, 2009, SA's Brian Smith and David Torres arrived at the house of Jackson, located at blank, Farmington, Connecticut. Okay, now, Jackson confirmed that he was the person who placed the anonymous call and that he was in fear of his life following the death of Lowell Loaded Mac Fletcher. Well, I'll just be. Everything T.I. said about him in that song is true. I knew it was. But for anybody who had questions, everything that T.I. said about him in that song was true. Let's continue. Including the fact that he has a Lego-shaped head. Now, when asked what he believed the motive for Henchman to murder Lodi, he stated that he believed Lodi was killed for the assault on Henchman's 14-year-old son, Lodi. Oh, no, then it says Lodi and various band members from the G Unit group had participated in. Okay, so now Jackson stated, so you mean to tell me people from G Unit beat up a 14-year-old? Hold on, let me read that again. When asked what he believed was the motive for Henchman to murder Lodi, he stated that he believed Lodi was killed for the assault on Henchman's 14-year-old son. Lodi and various band members from the G Unit group had participated in. So they still causing trouble. Look how they just did Ja Rule on the plane. But at this point, they're grown. And this is what y'all do to a 14-year-old? Okay. Now, Jackson stated that he would cooperate with the investigation and would be willing to provide any information that he may have in connection to shootings involving Jimmy Henchman. Jackson disclosed that he was shot in the past, and the persons who attempted to kill him had been hired by Irving Lorenzo, aka Irv Gotti, and Kenneth McGriff, aka Supreme, further asserting the fear for his life. Well, ain't that a blimp? That is not how the code, honey. That is not the street code, 50. Y'all see that? Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, I never knew this. I never knew this. Okay, I know anything about this. This man's a whole snitch, and you got the nerve to be talking about somebody else. This is all nefarious. Okay, hold on. Let me see what this is. Here's another paperwork on him, honey. Somebody posted this. Somebody sent me a screenshot. This is all crazy. Somebody needs to do a documentary on 50. Okay, that's what somebody needs to do. Okay, Pensacola said T.I.'s winning. Won't he do it? Y'all see that? This is some more paperwork. It says gang assault in the first degree. I guess this is his record. Assault in first degree, assault in second degree. Okay, defendant 1, 4 counts, defendant 2, 4 counts, defendant 3, 4 counts. In that the defendants with intent to cause serious something injury to another person and aided by two or more persons actually intent to cause serious physical injury to the other person. Okay, so clearly, but this is the part they have circled. What does it say there? Oh, wait a minute, here it goes. It says, each of the above described defendants acting in concert with each other and with other something, I can't see this word, individuals, unidentified individuals, okay, repeatedly punched about the face and body of informant Curtis Jackson. Oh, so that wasn't his record. That's when somebody whooped his arse for being a whole informant. And they said informant Curtis Jackson. Child, do y'all hear this? 50, you done effed around and found out, buddy. Okay? And effed around and found out. Now, what do y'all have to say about this? What do y'all have to say about this? Hold on. And here he goes right here. Let's get into it. Ryan James said Queen A is making the documentary coming soon. 50 Shades of 50 Cent. That's the perfect title, beloved. Not 50 Shades of 50 Cent. Okay, don't make me do it. He's a whole cop. Wow, 50, honey, you done messed up. Now we got you. We got you dead to right, buddy. Okay, we got you dead to right. Let's continue.
Tell him how you told my son to call me and tell me he need 50 pairs of sneakers for back to school.
I did not say that.
You said he said somebody else got a whole bunch of pairs of sneakers.
He said a boy in his class hunted on him and said he has 50 pairs of sneakers. And Marquise said, how the hell does he have 50 pairs of sneakers? And his father's a lawyer. My dad's on the Forbes list. That's exactly
Yeah, then why you didn't be a responsible parent and say, look, you don't need 50 pairs of shoes. 20 pairs of sneakers.
Now he sounds like a whole fool. With all the money he had, he could have bought that boy 20 pairs of shoes. Okay, he could have bought his son 20 pairs of shoes. What's he complaining for? Sit down somewhere. I bet you he spent more than that on jewelry for his broads, like Daphne Joy, who then turned around and went and messed with Diddy. Okay, stupid self. And the irony of Diddy sleeping with his woman after 50 went around for years calling Diddy gay, and whether Diddy's gay or not, he still got your baby mama. Okay, that's how that went. Now here's the clip I was looking for when the guy asked him about burning down that house.
Amicable breakups. Do you remember where, I think it's your baby moms, where it's like she was kind of speaking out, and then all of a sudden the house just got burnt down.
Yeah, but you know, it happens. Left eye.
She
She burned the house down.
This nigga is crazy. That's what I was saying.
No, my God, he goes, wow. So I didn't know how you feel about me now. No, he's going in. He's great. So
Who's the fan?
He saw me right from
Yo, I want my block back.
He go, look, I have faith in our justice.
I'm a
I
civilian
believe
now.
there will be consequences
I'm a
connected to those
civilian now.
behaviors and actions that this brother is talking about.
Oh my
I agree,
goodness.
man. Why is that a part of his thought process today while we're here having a good time?
Most amicable.
He said, why is that a part of his thought process? Because I guess he wanted to know. He had questions. Okay. This is all so nefarious. I want y'all to pay attention. Pensacola said, day one's No Queen Teach the Truth. Thank you, beloved. Thank you for your kind words and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, now, 50 Cent threatened me over his baby mama, Shaniqua, part 1. Okay, that's more than one part. Yeah, I got to go find it. It's Smoppy. Okay, now, that all being said, let's get into it. This is the receipt that I just found when I was sitting here while y'all were watching the video.
All right, so I get a lot of people ask me about the 50 Cent situation. This happened back in 2016. I literally just started working for Vlad TV. I do a lot of the bookings for Vlad TV. You might have seen a lot of my interviews, Boosie, 1090 Jake, Soulja Boy. It's a lot. Anyway, this particular time, I reached out to 50 Cent's baby mom, Shaniqua Tompkins. She's super cool. Reached out to her. I asked her, hey, would you like to do Vlad TV? And she left me a phone number. She's like, Monty, call me. I'm like, oh shit, it's lit. Called her. Talked about it. I'm like, bet this is going to be fire. You know what I'm saying? So I reached out to Vlad. Vlad, I got 50 Cent's baby mom. She would love to do an interview. Vlad said, pass. I said, damn. Now, mind you, I'm just now starting up there, so I don't really know the ropes. I'm just kind of just learning as I go. So I get ready to hit her back and tell her that Vlad passes. But then I get some white guy on Instagram's like, hey, bro, how's your face? I'm like, my face? My face is fine. Why you asking about my face? He wrote back, go to 50 Cent's page. Nigga. I go to 50 Cent's page. I'm on the motherfucker.
Lord, I'm sorry. I sat and read the whole thing and didn't have my door mic on. My apologies, beloveds. Hold on. Let me run this back. Did y'all hear this? It says 50 Cent. I don't know this guy. This is what 50 said. Never met him before. I have nothing to do with him getting $150 in his face. Vlad TV should know better than to get into gangster-ish. This is what happens all the time. Now the poor guy has to staple his face together. Hashtag get well soon. Should have seen it coming. No, he didn't.
And I read the caption, this, and I'm like, my heart dropped. I couldn't breathe. First of all, I'm tripping because I'm like, damn, I literally just started working with Vlad. Am I in trouble? You know what I'm saying? Second of all, damn, I got 50 Cent, got my face on his Instagram with this crazy caption talking about cutting my face open. If y'all don't know what $150 is, $150 means cutting your face and give you 150 stitches. So when I read this, I write 50 Cent instantly. At this time, he had like, I don't know, he had like 12 million followers or something like that. So I write him, I added him, I'm like, 50, why is my face on your page? Would you believe this nigga wrote back instantly? He said, the next time you hop in your car, make sure you got your seatbelt on. I said, damn, it's going crazy. I had all type of crazy people calling my phone. Big famous directors asking, am I okay? My mama freaking out. My baby mama freaking out. Benzino called me. Mom, what the fuck you do that for? Why you piss off 50 Cent? He called me. then I get an email from Vlad. Now, mind you, I hadn't even talked to Vlad on the phone yet. We only communicated through emails during this time. That's my boy now. Man, he hit me up. He was like, call me. I said, oh my gosh, I'm about to lose this job, man. I called him, and then we talked about it. First thing he ever said to me was, first of all, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Look, like 50, last I checked, 50 is still mad at me.
Hold on, because that sounded like Vlad talking. Hold on. Let me put something on the screen. Let me put something on the screen. I'll put these two clowns up there. Okay.
Because I interviewed Jimmy Henchman from prison, right? And I remember like 50 had put up a picture of one of my guys, like a guy that does bookings for us, this dude named Mafi. And it's a picture of him, and the caption is that he just got his face slashed. And, you know, Vlad should worry about getting involved in some street shit because this is what's going to happen.
Did he get his face slashed?
Nothing happened to him. It's a completely fake story. He's perfectly fine. He's calling.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
But 50 Cent put up.
But 50 Cent put the shit up.
That he got his face.
He got his face slashed, but when nothing had happened to him.
So somebody that looks like him.
No, it was. Just, I don't know. Someone got in 50's ear and said this is what happened or whatever. I don't know if there's a warning to me or whatever. Other 50.
So there was no photo of a guy with his face.
No, it was a picture of the guy.
Picture of the guy
with a caption that said, "Yo, I just heard Vlad's guy got his face slashed. You know, yo, you all should be careful out there, get involved in street shit, whatever." And I'm like, and 50 took it down right away.
He thought 50 Cent really cut my face open. So I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I'm fine. So he's like, yo, I don't want this to discourage you from working with me at Vlad TV. I'm like, no, man, it's lit. I'm excited. So now I wanted to take it a step further. I ain't really have a lot of money back then. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So I wanted to take it a step further and sell this shit to TMZ. Because when I first started doing media stuff, I had sold some footage to TMZ back in 2007. So I already know who to contact. So I hit up the people at TMZ. I'm like, yo, 50 Cent just threatened to cut my face open on Instagram. Is this worth some money? They was like, yeah, it's worth some money. I'm gonna give y'all part 2 of this at a later time, but it's very interesting.
Whew. I never even knew about that either. Terry Hint said Vlad's another Fed. Oh yeah, I agree. Okay, I absolutely agree. Okay, so anyway, what do y'all think about all of this? Hold on, let me show y'all something because he needs to sit down somewhere. At the end of the day, T.I.'s not the one. Y'all remember that time when T.I. got into that rumble with Floyd Mayweather, and then people came out telling lies, talking about T.I. had 2 black eyes. Hold on, let's go to the clip.
They say I got 2 black eyes. Where they at though? These ones I'm looking at, is they black for real? Damn, been like that all my life. Put my hand up. That's about it. What they say I got 2.
Do you all remember when T.I. got into it with Floyd Mayweather? Y'all remember that? That's why I said I know who 50 thought he was talking about. I don't know who he thought he was talking about because T.I. is not scared of anybody. He don't care what size or how tall he is. Okay, he just isn't. At the end of the day, and Floyd Mayweather didn't give T.I. no work either because Floyd fights in the ring. T.I. fights in the streets. And there is a difference. Now, with that all being said, let's continue. Let's continue because it's a video of somebody talking about Tiny. Hold on. Let me share my screen.
Beefing, we ain't talking, none of that, bro. I don't care. Can't nobody speak bad about my mama, okay? Even if I am, don't you join in. This me. Let me vent about my mama, but don't you join in thinking that I'ma just sit there and let you do it. Yeah, I'll leave Tiny alone, man. Tiny don't bother nobody, bro. Tiny don't bother nobody, bro. Let her be who she be. Let her look how she look, man. For real, bro. Beefing, we ain't talking.
Okay, so now with that all being said, honey, Let's get into it. 50 must have had his baby mama place bugged because how he knew she ain't telling him. I don't know. You know what? I don't put anything past 50. 50, let me tell you something. He was on a show bragging about how he can cry on cue. Let's go to it. He was on Howard Stern. I'm gonna put a hold on. I'm gonna put an overlay on this. I'm gonna show you all this. And he could do it too. 50 Cent is a male Karen. Okay, that's all he is. He's a male Karen. Period. Now, let me get this overlay real quick.
You say that you can cry on command. Does that come in handy in the movies?
Yeah, at different points. I could do it now. I could.
Yeah, let me see you cry because I've always admired actors who can do this. What do you think about to get you going?
Going into my grandmother's home after my mom passed.
That makes you cry.
Yeah, that was a real uncomfortable feeling for me.
I don't think she's ever got
There it is. You're crying. There it is. 50's got it going. You got the.
Let me let y'all see these tears, honey. Tears of a clown. Look at it. Y'all see how he teared up just that quick? Y'all see how he teared up just that quick? Yeah, he's a good actor. All right. He's a good actor. That's why he could sit there and lie and say he didn't set that lady's house on fire, or have somebody set it on fire and look like he's telling the truth to some people. But I absolutely believe he
Here's
did.
going. You are a good actor.
Real. Sitting up there crying for Howard Stern. I wish I would. I told him, Ninja, you start crying. Let me see your tears. F out of here. Talk about he always loved to see somebody cry. Please. Yeah, he loves attention from the people that don't look like him, Jerron. You're absolutely right, beloved. Okay, now with that all being said, now let's talk about this situation where this man was talking about his daughter selling Girl Scout cookies, and he was very upset because there was a video of a girl who posted a video who don't look like me. And she was saying that somebody stole her Girl Scout cookies and gave her a black eye. But when he posted about his daughter, what happened to her when she was trying to sell Girl Scout cookies and she's black, nobody had any outrage. Okay, but then it turns out that the first cookie story was fake. Okay, I don't know how people didn't know it was fake because I knew it was AI from day one. But let's go to the video. We're going to go to the fake story first. What the people said that's what he did when he signed that informant paperwork. Exactly, right? Teared up, talking about he's scared for his life. Exactly.
Cookies outside of the Albertsons on chat.
I don't usually post things.
Hold on.
To the people who stole my Girl Scout cookies outside of the Albertsons on chat.
I don't usually post things, but we're going to war. Everybody. We're fighting for this Girl Scout. I don't give a shit. Fuck it.
He said we're fighting for this Girl Scout. I don't give an itch. First of all, hold on, I didn't even pull that up. I want to go to the whole video. When she sit up there telling them lies. AI is just a hot mess, okay? Songwriter Son said 50 is an artist. Of course, he's an emotional person. Yeah, emotionally unhinged. But let me tell you something else I meant to say. So, speaking of 50, when T.I. did the diss track, Right One, I was listening to it last night, right? And I realized that in the song, when 50 said, I done, I thought he said son at first, and that's probably what most people thought he said, but he actually said done, which is even more clever of him because that's a slang that they use that they started in Queens, New York, because there was a guy back in the day, and I forget his name, and he could never pronounce anything that he couldn't pronounce S words. So he had like some sort of speech impediment. So he couldn't pronounce S words. And so instead of saying son, he would say done. And then people started saying it like D-U-N-N. So that's what T.I. said, because I looked up the lyrics just to be sure. But that's why T.I. said, I ain't done. Something like 50. He's all over you, honey. Okay, you got nothing. You're coming up short. Pensilola said, gifted the Queen's channel a membership. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, you all shout Pensilola out for gifting us a membership, okay? Thank you, beloved. Songwriter Sonny said, growing up confused, saw your mama kissing a girl, Curtis. Yeah, he did say that, didn't he? He sure did. Now let's get into this fake video.
The people who stole my Girl Scout cookies outside of the Albertsons on chat.
I don't usually post things, but we're going to war. Everybody.
Oh, damn, I got the same video again. Okay, I'm sorry. I have the same video twice. Anyway, let me just go to the black man's video, because the thing of it is, in that video, the little girl is talking about she was outside of somewhere. They stole her cookies. She supposedly had a black eye. They robbed her and beat her up and took her cookies and all that. And I'm thinking, y'all can't tell this is fake. She sounds robotic. She's sitting there, I was outside and someone stole my Girl Scout cookies. And whoever stole my cookies from so-and-so street at 1 p.m. on Saturday, could you please bring my cookies back? Saying something crazy as hell. And I'm like, first of all, why is she being so specific? She was named the time, the date, and everything about when the person stole and who, and all of this stuff. It just sounded so fake. But so anyway, she got attention because people were like talking about they're going to donate money and all of this, and they felt bad for her. So the black man got upset because he actually had posted about his daughter's story first. And his daughter's story is actually a real story. Okay. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Just made a video not even a couple weeks ago about my daughter selling Girl Scout cookies. And I'm talking about this again because I see this little white girl is going viral for selling Girl Scout cookies. She's breaking records and shit. But that's not even what I'm here about, because the little black girls that were just out there doing regular shit, they got Karen's call on them for having a lemonade stand and all that type of shit. And the fact that my daughter experienced that same type of shit and didn't get praised for it, because the apartment complex that we live in is a no soliciting thing. But listen here, we were selling Girl Scout cookies over there for 2 days straight. I told this story already, but it didn't get no traction. So hopefully it gets some traction again. So we was already selling cookies over there for 2 days. Say we started on Monday, and on Thursday we about to go again. But on this particular Thursday, my sister had to go with my daughter. I couldn't go with her because I just got to work. I worked out and all that type of stuff. Anyway, one of the houses they knocked on was an old white lady. And the white lady instantly said, "What are y'all doing over here?" This is what my daughter told me. This is what my sister told me. It wasn't like, "What you doing over here at my house?" It was like, "What you doing over here?" Because my sister can sense it, but my daughter just said she felt weird. She didn't know what she was experiencing, but she said she felt weird. The lady said, "Are you supposed to be over here? Do you supposed to be over here? Why are you over here? Do you go to school over here?" And she started asking all type of inappropriate shit, trying to say, y'all do not need to be over here because y'all don't belong over here. This ain't what you trying to say. This is what she did say. And then she ended up only buying 1 box of cookies for my daughter. And then later on that day, the office called me about, "Hey, do you have a daughter in Girl Scouts about soliciting?" Because it ain't no solicit. I said, it's crazy how y'all called me today after that woman said something about y'all. I mean, said something to y'all. That she was like, nobody called. Like the women, people in the office, like, ain't no woman called us. It was men mostly, and they was just more concerned about it being safe and whatnot. First of all, we in a gated community. I'm once again, I know anything can happen, but I'm with my daughter, my sister with my daughter. But she said that they don't feel safe. I swear to God, she was like, because people are using children to lure them out their house. First of all, who the fuck is luring people out their house in broad daylight in an apartment complex using a child? No, they seen my daughter was black. Yes, I'm going to play the race card every fucking time. Because as y'all see right now, if it was a little white girl selling cookies when shit would have happened to them. And then this the icing on top of the cake. So like I said, we were selling cookies on Monday all the way to Thursday. They in the office called Girl Scouts of America and asked them, do we supposed to be doing it? First of all, Girl Scouts of America was like, yes, they can do that, but they don't supposed to start selling cookies until that following Saturday. So now y'all around here snitching on us. It ain't that serious, and it's always gonna be that serious. Because once again, the shit that little black girls got to experience, I don't give a fuck about that white girl selling cookies. I'm gonna be real with you. That shit made me mad when I saw that. And then they do have a website where you can buy the cookies off of there from my child and whatnot. But I'm not posting my child information. I do not feel comfortable with that. It shows what, what her scout steals, her scout lead. I'm not comfortable with that shit because I know y'all would have bought some cookies for my child, but this ain't like I want to sell the cookies too. If y'all want to help, I'm gonna put my cash up at the bottom in the bio. Do what you want to do, and I'm going. Or you just want to donate, just personally donate, and that go towards her camping trip. That go towards their uniform. But yes, I'm pissed off because now I'm seeing it real, actual life. We seen it. That little girl is going viral for selling them Girl Scout cookies, and I asked them in that goddamn office if my daughter was white, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. And I didn't even get them time to talk. I said it don't even matter because we would never know. We would never know because she's black, but we would never know how y'all really. But now seeing this little white girl sell cookies going viral, oh yes, I'm pissed the fuck off.
Y'all heard that? So I thought that he was talking about that DJ Big Six and Take a Breath. He's fired up, as he should be. But here's the thing. I thought that he was talking about that fake video, but no, there is a little white girl who absolutely went viral. I just looked it up. She's 6 years old. So let's get into it.
Girl Scout cookie. She's only 6, but Pim Neal is already doing what no Girl Scout has seemingly done before. In one single season, the kindergartner has sold over 100,000 boxes of cookies. What are you holding, Pim?
2 Girl Scout cookies.
Pim has wanted to be a Girl Scout and sell cookies since she was 3, but getting into a troop took time because of her age and because she needed to find the right.
Well, she's a cute little girl, but she sold over 100,000. She sold over 100,000 boxes of cookies. I said, "Oh, stop." Talking about, oh, she's eating the cookies too. Don't go there. She's a cute little girl. Now, but hold on. She sold over 100,000 boxes. Okay, I see why she went viral. How do you sell that many boxes? They're clearly selling them online. That's likely what it is. But let's continue.
Troop for her special needs.
Being somewhere now that she is loved and wanted, it just makes us so happy.
Pim's dad, Luke Anorak Neal, explained that together they rallied businesses, friends, and family to purchase cookies, and then took to social media.
And how many Girl Scout cookies are you trying to sell?
10,000.
10,000? That's a lot of cookies.
That video went viral, bringing in some 20,000 boxes in a day. And the support only grew from there. Now she's on track to sell the most cookies ever. The apparent record, 180,000 over a Girl Scout's career.
We got asked along the way, well, haven't you sold enough boxes? Isn't that enough? My favorite response was, do you think they told Michael Phelps that he swam enough laps?
And like a true businesswoman, she's already chasing her next sale.
You know, what do you want to say to all the people who have bought these cookies?
Thank you. Do you want to buy some Girl Scout cookies?
Nice job.
And we want to thank CBS News Pittsburgh for helping us with that interview. The Girl Scouts Western Pennsylvania Council told us Pim's record is a first for them. And here's the best part of all of this. Pim and her dad want to share everything they've learned and have done with other girls. No gatekeeping here. They want others to have the same success. They are really having so much fun.
I want to buy some.
Do you want to buy some Girl Scout cookies?
She's only...
Okay, now I'm going to say this. Danger said the parents are selling the cookies. Well, of course they are. The cookies, she's selling her cookies online, though. So here's the thing. I get the man's dilemma. He's upset because of how he was treated in the neighborhood that he lives in. But to me, that doesn't have anything to do with that little girl. That little girl is selling hers online, and he doesn't want his daughter's information out there, which I understand. It all makes sense. But maybe he could have, well, he couldn't put his information, I guess. But that little girl is selling her stuff online. You're going to get way more sales online. That's just what it is. Okay? You're going to get way more sales online. So with that all being said, I mean, his daughter didn't stand a chance unless she was going to be selling online too. Okay, Queen Sam said, no, thank you. They're too small and cost too much. I love Girl Scout cookies, honey. Y'all can miss me with it. Anybody selling Girl Scout cookies, I'm buying them. I'm buying them. I don't care how much they cost. Okay? I don't care how much they cost. All right? Anybody got do-si-dos? Do-si-dos? Anyone? Thin Mints? Okay? Police. DJ Big Six said exactly. Get creative and think outside the box. Right. Because here's the thing. First of all, that old lady was wrong for snitching on them and all that. That was low down and that was clearly racist in my opinion. But he should not be mad because that little girl's gone viral, because that little girl should have gone viral. She sold 100,000 boxes of cookies. I've never heard of such. Okay. And the person that has the record sold 180,000, but that's over their career. She's only 6, so she likely just started. Honey. Shout out to the little girl for selling those cookies. All right. She did what she had to do. Okay, don't get mad at her. Sir, I'm sorry, you can't get mad at her. And you couldn't keep up anyway, just selling them door to door. That's just what it is. All right. Sometimes my people, we have a right to be upset about things, but you have to have your anger directed at the right people. It didn't have anything to do with that little girl. I don't even see how the stories correlate. You know what I'm saying? If he wanted to come out and talk about that racist white lady who was calling the leasing officer, not the leasing officer, but calling whoever, because they live in a gated community, that's one thing. But shouldn't have said nothing about the little girl. Look at Desmond hating, talking about damn shame Queen eating cookies and stuff. Yes, I have snacks sometimes, Desmond. Okay, mind your business. Okay, mind your business before I start telling what you eat. Okay, please. All right. And so, anywho, Sheila said shortbread were your favorite. Okay. Somebody else said the shortening bread cookies. I didn't like those. I just didn't like them for some reason. Honey. Do-si-dos for me with the peanut butter and then the Thin Mints. All right. Now, that all being said, let's talk about the lady that called us dirty Black Americans. Well, she called y'all dirty Black Americans because she was not talking about me, I promise you. Okay, but let's talk about that Haitian lady who had the audacity, dare I say, to call y'all some dirty Black Americans. Hold on, let me say something else too before I get started. Y'all know what I be finding so interesting? The Samoans, I like them every now and then, but I really am not crazy about coconuts, so they just all right for me. But let me tell y'all something. What I find interesting is when some of the Africans be going in on us, and then they say that we used to call them African booty scratchers. I'm like, hold up. We were kids. We were kids. Didn't y'all call us names too? And I'm like, now we're grown. So you still holding on to that? They must be traumatized by that, I guess. I don't know. But when they bring that up, it's always hilarious to me because, dude, we were children. Who's calling you that right now as an adult? Okay? But let's get into it because this Haitian lady went in on us. Okay? Not dirty Black Americans. Let me see if I can find the right clip, okay, to start it off. Because I have a couple of clips. Okay, here we go. I think this is it. Why would she even say that? And then you're on a Black person's podcast. Or you're on Black people's podcast. That's a stitch. Hold on, beloveds. I'm going to go ahead and start with the stitch. That's the first one that comes up. Gloria said, you have never called anybody that. Well, hey, I don't recall calling anybody that either, but I'm just saying when Black people have said those things about Africans, it was always kids. Y'all saw boys in the hood. No grown person saying that. It's clearly something that children made up.
Why? Where you from? What's your background? You American? Dirty Black American?
Why you say that?
Because that's what y'all are. Dirty Black American. I did. A dirty Black American. I sure did. Because that's what y'all are.
I'm saying, why would you fix your lips to say that, though? I'm confused.
Because that's just my experience.
A Haitian American woman went on the Daily Wrap Up Crew podcast calling Black Americans dirty Black Americans. And I'm sitting here wondering what we did to deserve that kind of disrespect in the first place.
Listen, man, it's even more to it, dog. Listen, dog. Back then it wasn't sweet, man. It wasn't sweet at all. I mean, Yankees used to come through and torture us, dog. Literally every day. School. That's where it starts at school. Americans versus Haitians. Once they find out you were Haitian, that was it. They go by from your name. Once they could have picked up on or your accent, they was at you daily, every day.
Sir, sit down somewhere. See, that's what I'm talking about. He's sitting bringing up old stuff. Ethelene says, speak for yourself, Queen. I still say African booty scratcher, and I'm 52. Holla. What? Lola says she's the new wig. Okay, how many wigs do we have at this point? She's got to be number 6 because Trump's number 5, last I checked. Okay, not wig. Let's continue. Oh my goodness, I am not fooling with y'all today. Let me hurry up and get off this live. We're after 2 hours, honey. Okay, couple of more clips.
Why? Where you from? What's your background? You American? Dirty black American?
Wait, what?
Huh? What?
Wait, what you
American?
say?
Black American? What?
No. Hold on. You said dirty black American.
You heard that? You just asked me what I said. I did.
Why you said that?
Because that's what y'all are. Dirty black American.
So what is Haitians then? I'm confused.
Dirty black Haitians.
Okay, so keep that energy for everybody. Don't just keep it for us. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
You're American.
yeah, hell yeah. Don't ever say no dirty black American. Like, what?
You from the South?
My family, like, yeah.
Okay. Where?
Why it matter?
No, I'm just asking. No, we're not having a conversation.
It's the South, regardless. Like, I got family in Florida. I got family in Georgia.
I mean, I want to know, like, where.
You know, you trying to be. I know what you're doing. Like, I know what you're doing. It's that Caribbean shit. I know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
First of all, as soon as she said that, she would no longer have been welcome on my podcast. She would have had to go immediately. Dirty black, what? Oh, baby, I would have read her for filth and then put her up out of there. We're not talking about nothing. Don't ask me ish. Okay, that was very disrespectful. You had the nerve to say it like it was all gravy.
That Haitian woman that went on that Black American podcast, surrounded by Black Americans, and then completely unprovoked started calling them dirty Black Americans, is why there's being such a push for delineation, especially in the last few years. And you know, for me, I don't really do like the diaspora wars. I don't. But I've always had the understanding that not all skin folk is kinfolk. And I've always had the mindset, you know, I root for everyone that is Black that would also root for everyone Black. So if you're not rooting for me because I'm Black American, you know, I ain't got to root for you. But I always want Black people to be on top. And it's so weird because as she was sitting there, she was dressed as a typical Black American. She wasn't dressed in what they wear in Haiti. She wasn't dressed by whatever a Haitian or traditional Haitian would wear. And I think that's really interesting that you come to America, you dress like us, you look like us, you walk like us, you even have an accent like us, but you can't stand us. Mind you, she has a business in the Bronx doing brows. But why wouldn't you do that in Haiti? We're so dirty. We're so this. And it's a weird, because in the diaspora, there's this weird idea, you know, or this weird, not even idea, this misunderstanding that Black Americans don't know where they're from, or they have no, you know, culture. And it's weird because they consume it. America's biggest export is Black culture, but it's through the lens of white Hollywood. And for me, you know, I watch a lot of K-dramas. I watch a lot of C-dramas. I would never, ever watch, you know, K-dramas, C-dramas, and then go to Korea, and then go to China, and then say, you know what, let me speak on y'all's politics. Let me speak on your culture. I would never do that. And yet within the diaspora, that's what constantly happens. They see this, usually a white lens of Black American culture, and then they speak, and then they come here, and then they look around, they say, oh, there's all these programs, there's all these this, I don't understand why you can't get ahead. Meanwhile, the programs that you're utilizing was made and given on the sweat, the tears, the blood, and even the lives of Black Americans, the very people that you claim to hate, the very people that you have no problem, you know,
A hot mess. That's what it is. And you know, the interesting thing is, remember when those Haitian women got deported by ICE and then they were found decapitated? I reported on that, right? We're the ones who report their stories, because check this out.
Come look at this. I learned that 4 Haitian women have been decapitated, and they were supposed to be under ICE custody. Somehow or another, they was left in the Dominican Republic, and they just was left, and someone unalived them. And this is crazy. No news, no nothing. So I did my research, and I figured I should use my platform to get the word out. This is ridiculous. They are killing black and brown people for no reason. And I don't imagine that them young ladies were criminals or anything. But by them leaving them in the Dominican Republic, which is close to Haiti, they pretty much led them ladies to their unaliving. And now ICE about to run up in Ohio. And Ohio got a big Haitian population. The mayor and governor said they're gonna give them 24 hours before they run up in there. This is ridiculous. This is scary, and this is dangerous. Because after they're in ICE custody, we don't know what's happening to these people. So I encourage you, do some research, get the word out. Big, small, little content creators, this needs to be exposed. This needs to be national news.
They're gonna never make it national news because those are dark-skinned women. You know, like I said, you all heard that here first because I reported on it myself. So I'm just saying, how dare you be so disrespectful blatantly to our faces when we're the ones who you should be looking to for allyship, okay? We're the ones out here reporting on your stories and being all concerned when y'all come up missing or dead with heads chopped off, okay? The nerve. The absolute nerve. But let's continue because it's not all Haitians. Because there was some Haitians going in on her as well. Okay, it was some of her own people going in on her and apologizing for her foolishness. That's why I never am against every one of any particular group because it's not everybody in any group.
Been trying to tell y'all. Yeah, we've been on these internet streets trying to tell y'all, man. They be starting it with us, man, and a lot of them feel this type of way where they just feel like they could just say anything to us. We got to protect our own image. We got to stand up and say something. We can't just let people just run off at the mouth and be saying stuff. So stop with the narrative that FBA is online just attacking foreigners and immigrants. We're not doing that. We're simply responding to what people are saying to us. That's it. I've never, to be honest, I've never seen online an immigrant or a foreigner minding their business and the FBA just came on there attacking them. We respond. We're not going to stop responding to people talking crazy about us and to us. We respond.
And see, I'm gonna tell you what the problem is too, with racist people who don't like us, and then we have the people who almost look like us and don't like us. The thing of it is they do start with us. We're not the ones being the aggressors. We're not the ones being angry. We're not the ones hating. We're not the ones starting or instigating things, but we do respond. And so the thing is, we do a good job when we respond. And if anybody wants to throw hands, we good at that too. So then they now want to play the victim because you came for us and you got the smoke. You got what you paid for. But now you have buyer's remorse. And so now they want to paint themselves as the victim. And these nefarious, violent, angry African Americans. No. We're not angry and violent. If we were, we would have shook up this world at this point for all the hate and things that we've received. Okay, for all the lynches, all the brutality, stolen wealth, and generational wealth, all the things that has been done to us. Y'all better hope that we never get it in our heads to decide that we want revenge rather than waiting for the Most High to give it. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, let's go to this clip. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
For that Haitian girl that went on a podcast and called Black Americans dirty, we don't side with that. I'm a Haitian and I don't agree. And that was her opinion. It's not the majority. It's a minority because I love my African American people. So whatever her opinion is not the same with me. I want you to remember that not everyone feels that way. So yeah, that's her opinion, not ours. For that Haitian girl that went on.
Okay. That's why you can't ever be mad at all people because, like I said, it's never the whole population of any people. It's always some, and it may even be a lot, but it's never all of them.
What pissing me off is this Haitian woman goes and says those disrespectful ass comments on that platform that she shouldn't have been allowed to speak one more word on. And now that Black Americans are saying things and defending themselves, I'm seeing people in their comment sections talking about we need to all be sticking together. We're brothers and sisters of the diaspora.
Now, I agree with that. We all should be sticking together. We are brothers and sisters of the diaspora. We know it and we show it, but other people don't want to show that until we start giving them that work. Now it's like, oh, it's time to lay off. Everybody, let's just all come together. But you should have done that in the first place, and now we wouldn't be here.
Don't go low like her. We were mistreated when we came here. I was teased when I was 11 years old. Okay, a lot of us were. A lot of us said ignorant shit when we were children. But now these are grown-ass adults coming over here, calling us dirty Black Americans, saying that Black people have no culture, and getting upset that we have issue with the bullshit. And doing all of this in Black History Month. You gotta be fucking kidding me. And what's really pissing me off is this Haitian woman goes and says those disrespectful ass comments on that platform that she shouldn't have been allowed to speak one more word on. And now that Black Americans are saying things and defending themselves, I'm seeing people in their comment sections talking about we need to all be sticking together.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I let that video start playing again. I'm sitting up here pulling up the next clip, and then I got sidetracked because I was looking at something else that popped up. Oops. Okay, here we go. Last one.
That called us dirty Black Americans, right? The Lord must know not to bring me in that type of situation, because it would have went the fuck down, right? So I've got a couple of these.
That's her information, you all, because you know she owns her own business doing eyebrows and whatnot.
And I think I found the Instagram. Go on and do what y'all do. Boop, boop.
Well, she's going to be losing business. I don't know why these people have been doing it. You know, half the time when they say these things, they know darn well the majority of their customers and clients are Black women. Okay, make it all make sense. So anyway, with that all being said, let's go to our Black History moment, shall we? Okay, let's go to our Black History moment. First off, here we go. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share.
Cream cone you've ever had exists because of a Black man, and most people have never heard his name. Augustus Jackson, 1830s, Philadelphia. He perfected ice cream recipes that made it affordable for everyday people, not just the wealthy. Here's the part they don't talk about. He shared his techniques with Black-owned ice cream shops across the city, building an entire community economy around his innovation. But he never secured patents for his methods. In that era, protection and enforcement were nearly impossible for Black inventors. White manufacturers copied the techniques, scaled them, profited from them. Augustus Jackson's name disappeared. He helped turn ice cream into an American staple. Yet when people think of the industry, they rarely think of him, an innovation that shaped a culture, a name history almost erased. How many everyday comforts were built by Black excellence and credited elsewhere? Comment Augustus if you refuse to let this truth stay hidden.
Okay, y'all see that? And I'm sure many Black people don't know that. But let's continue, because let's talk about hockey. The U.S. hockey team won the gold medal, as we saw Cash Patel celebrating. But guess who was doing hockey first?
So we're just pretending the NHL invented it, and not the Black men who did it decades earlier? In 1895, in Halifax, Nova Scotia, an all-Black league was already dominating the ice, the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes. But here's the part they never told you. They pioneered the slap shot. They were using early butterfly goaltending long before the NHL made it famous. Black Baptist leaders founded the league to bring young men into church and to crush racist myths about Black physical ability. Instead, those men transformed the sport itself. Then professional hockey consolidated power. Opportunities narrowed, coverage faded, credit shifted, the techniques survived. The league did not. How does a sport remember the move but forget the men who created it? Why are we taught who popularized it, but not who perfected it? In 2020, Canada issued a commemorative stamp. The NHL now offers tributes, but a tribute is not the same as rightful credit. Comment CHL if you refuse to let this truth stay hidden, and follow for more Black.
All nefarious, okay? Give the Black people their credit. Pentelola says, we're always the welcoming committee. Time to set out the way. The war babies ain't play. Okay? I agree. I absolutely agree, beloved. And thank you for insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, let's talk about barbecue, because I know y'all better know that Black people came up with barbecue, honey. I know y'all better know better.
Southern, it's African and indigenous. And white America tried to erase the real creators. The word barbecue comes from the Taino people. Barbacoa, indigenous cooking method over fire. Here's what they won't tell you. West Africans brought the techniques that made barbecue what it is. Slow cooking over low heat, complex spice rubs, smoking methods. Enslaved people perfected it. They took the worst cuts. Scraps white people didn't want. Ribs, brisket, pork shoulder, made them legendary. And here's the part that should make you furious. White Southerners claimed it as Southern tradition. Opened restaurants, made millions. Black pitmasters, erased. Working in back kitchens, no credit, no ownership. Every barbecue restaurant you see, every pitmaster on TV. Built on techniques enslaved people and indigenous people created. They took the food, took the credit, erased the creators. Why does barbecue get called Southern tradition when Black and indigenous people invented it? Comment barbecue if you...
Okay, let's go to this next one. Now, I did not know this. I did not know this. Please pay attention.
Black History Month, and I think every Black person needs to know what's going on with Little Caesars, and they also need to go and patronize Little Caesars. This is my first time going there as an adult, which is insane because these little crazy puffs are freaking delicious. But let me tell you why you need to go there, especially this month. So I found out that the founder of Little Caesars paid the rent for Rosa Parks for over a decade, from 1994 until she passed in 2005. After learning she was robbed and beaten in her home at the age of 81, this man arranged for her to move into a safer Detroit apartment, and he covered the costs up until her passing. I'm talking about Little Caesars, the owner of Little Caesars. Little Caesars Pizza. Okay, the pizza that's $4-5. So before y'all go patronize them other ones, learn about who own these companies, what they do for the community, what they do for families, what they do for others, before you're so quick to patronize millionaires and billionaires. But because of that, I made it my duty to say, you know what, I am going to try Little Caesars as an adult, because I haven't had it since I was little, because it was a $5 pizza that the Black community could afford. All I grew up on was Little Caesars. I didn't start eating Domino's and getting bougie until I was an adult and had a little money. You know what I mean? Little Caesars, I think you got a lifelong customer out of me, because these little crazy puffs are too good. If y'all don't do anything this month, if y'all gonna go out and get some fast food, get you some Little Caesars.
And you see, this is why nobody's ever going to convince me to be sitting up here thinking all white people are racist, because there are some white people who put their lives on the line, their businesses and all of that, because they're allies with Black people. And let me say this, I didn't know about Little Caesars, but if you all remember, I have told you all before that you should be supporting Ben and Jerry's, because Ben and Jerry's has always supported the Black community, and so have, well, Sears and Roebuck is out of business. But when Sears and Roebuck was really popular, back in the day, I mean, they used to ship parts for houses to people. I don't know if you all know that. They would have the parts and everything delivered, and you put the house together. Like, that was crazy to me when I found that out. But nonetheless, Sears and Roebuck always supported the Black community. And I never knew that either until years ago. And I feel like that's why they went out of business at a point, because, you know, white people are not going to support them sometimes when they know the racist people, they're not going to support them when they know stuff like that's going on. So you should definitely be supporting Little Caesars and Ben and Jerry's. Okay, y'all know I did a whole live about Ben and Jerry's before. Okay, and they do have good ice cream, some of the best. So that all being said, hold on, let's continue. I mean, I think it's only fair that we support those who support us, to show our appreciation. Why would you be giving your money to some of these corporations who don't even like people who look like us? And then, you know, some of these corporations contributed to people like Trump for his campaign. Okay, and I'm perfectly fine with what he has going on right now.
Have you heard people say, you know, Black people used to be part of the Republican Party, or the Republican Party was the one that freed the slaves? I'm about to give you the rundown of how all that went down and why it switched. Here's something that a lot of you may not know. The Civil Rights Acts of 1964 and 1968, signed into law by the Democratic Party, wasn't even the first Civil Rights Act. The first Civil Rights Act was signed into law in 1866. And guess what? It was signed into law by the Republican Party. who unanimously voted to override President Andrew Johnson, who was a Democrat that strongly opposed it. Now, don't get me wrong. They didn't do that because they cared about black people so much. Well, maybe some of them did, but we were used as a political tool, like we always are, to centralize power within the federal government, to basically preside over state legislation. So, of course, you know, Southern states wasn't feeling that shit. But anyway, black folk was like, so y'all gonna free us and make us citizens? Shit, I'm finna slide over there. However, a change had begun in the political party after the Civil War. See, Northern industrialists became rich off the war, and many of them seek to enter politics. The rich didn't see much sense in supporting black Americans, especially when the majority of the country was white. So by the 1870s, many Republicans felt like they had already done enough for black citizens and stopped focusing on the Southern states. And that left us in the hands of white Democrats and their oppressive policies towards black people after the Compromise of 1877. And for anybody wondering what the Compromise of 1877 was, that ended the Reconstruction. That was a deal where the Southern white Democrats allowed the Republicans to take the presidency in exchange for them moving their military from Southern states, taking their foot off the South's neck. See what I mean? Bargaining chips. Anyway, fast forward to the 20th century. Almost 60 years later, the Great Depression shook stuff up, baby. When everybody broke and hungry and looking around to see who to blame, hey. So the Republican Party, who continued to be dominated by rich businessmen, took on the attitude like, we'll let this stuff work itself out, while meanwhile favoring policies that supported big businesses. It was cool when everything was booming, but it was catastrophic when everything wasn't. Boy, if this ain't history damn near repeating itself. So when the economy finally crashed in 1929, Republican President Herbert Hoover said, I ain't interfering. Boy, that pissed people off right there. Mind you, if the economy was bad for white people, it was a wasteland for black folks. So that's when the president, Democrat Franklin D. Roosevelt, came to save the day. He won the 1932 election by a landslide. And it was Franklin D. Roosevelt's policies that shifted politics into much of what we see today. In comes the civil rights movement. It's important to note that race wasn't necessarily a party thing, it was a regional thing. Southern Democrats and Republicans opposed the civil rights movement, while Northern Democrats and Republicans began to support the legislation as the movement picked up. In 1964, Democratic leader Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act into law. The Republican candidate Barry Goldwater was very much opposed. He stated that this expanded the power of the federal government too much. And because of this, black folks started switching over to the Democratic Party. We began to see them as advocates for equality and justice, while seeing Republicans as the party who wanted to maintain the status quo. During the 60s and 70s, the Democratic Party sought other reform like abortion and prayers in school. And this is when Southern white Democrats began to resent how much government oversight was being displayed by the Democratic Party. And by the 1980s, Southern white Democrats switched over to the Republican Party. And the majority of the South were now Republicans. And this is how we get present-day Republican parties being conservative and present-day Democratic parties being liberal. So the next time you hear a white person telling you how the Republican Party freed the slaves and how black folks used to be Republican, you can walk them down with this history. My whole point is this. These parties can flip-flop on your ass because it ain't about you, at least not completely. It's about government control versus autonomy. It's about the wealthy class versus the working class. And it's always been about power. Do you think our interests still lie in the Democratic Party? Or do you believe they've abandoned us a long time ago? Drop a comment and let me know. For more content like this, don't forget to hit that follow button and like.
All right. Hold on. Let's go to the next clip. 2 more clips and then we're out, beloveds. Actually, I think this is the last one.
3 court cases that show the system was rigged against black people. The last one will make you furious. Number 3, Shelley v. Kramer, 1948. Supreme Court banned housing contracts that blocked black families from white neighborhoods. Cities ignored it, kept segregating anyway. The ruling meant nothing. Here's what they won't tell you. These weren't accidents. The system admitted discrimination was illegal, then let it continue anyway. Number 2, Buchanan versus Worley, 1917. struck down laws separating black and white neighborhoods. Progress? No. Cities just switched to redlining. Same segregation, different name. Number 1, the Scottsboro Boys, 1931. 9 black teenagers falsely accused by 2 white women in Alabama. All white juries, 0 evidence, death sentences handed out like nothing. Supreme Court exposed how the system was built to destroy black defendants. Changed jury rules forever. But those boys already lost years to a lie. How many times does the system admit it's broken before we stop acting like it was meant to protect black people? Comment Scottsboro if you refuse to let this history stay hidden. And follow.
For those of you who missed it, I talked about the Scottsboro Boys the other day for our Black History Month. But here's the thing. Now let's get into it because I saw someone posted a comment. First off, Jay Great says Sears created the catalog just for the black community because they were harassed going into the stores during Jim Crow. This is true. Now, Deronda says, like Michael Kors don't want black people wearing his clothes. Now, I'm not sure if that story is true because I heard the same thing about Tommy Hilfiger. Now, here's the thing. When this came out, that story supposedly started in 2015 from a self-described satirical website called the NahaDaily.com. The website's no longer live, but here's what happened at the time of all of this. So back in early June, hold on, when is this article? This article is from 2020. So back in early June, the Michael Kors brand issued a statement following the death of George Floyd, a black man killed in police custody in Minneapolis. And this is what he said. We continue to express our deep sadness over the unjust and tragic death of George Floyd and countless victims that have come before him. The systemic discrimination that has led us to this point is deplorable and untenable. Our heartfelt sympathies are with the families and communities that are grieving. The statement, that's what the statement said in part. They say our company does not condone racism, discrimination, or violence of any kind. We stand in solidarity with the Black community to work towards ending racial prejudice and injustice. Now, among actions the company said that it would take, it said Michael Kors, together with our parent company, Capri Holdings, is donating to the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund, America's premier legal organization fighting for racial justice. They donated to all of those organizations. It also said Kors himself would be making a personal donation to support the organization. Now, so I never knew if that was true because they denied it, and it did come from a satirical website. At least it was posted on there. Now, here's the thing. I heard that Tommy Hilfiger was the one that said it. So but I had looked that up too back then, and Oprah and Tommy Hilfiger said that was all cap. Now, I don't believe anything Oprah says, just by the way. But so here's what it says. Tommy Hilfiger said he never said that he didn't want black people wearing his clothes. This claim is a completely fabricated, long-standing rumor that originated in the 1990s and was fueled by the early pre-internet era. Hilfiger has denied making any such racist remarks, which were falsely alleged to have been said on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Now, the story that Tommy Hilfiger appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show and made the racist remarks is false. Okay, and this is from a 2023 interview with The Guardian. That's where they said it was false. So the rumors continue to persist despite denials from both Hilfiger and Oprah. Okay, it persisted for decades. Yeah, I heard that like a long time ago, like in the early 2000s. That's why when it came out about Michael Kors, I said, now, I don't know if I believe that because I remember they said the same thing about Tommy Hilfiger. Now, I always felt like Tommy Hilfiger said it. I didn't know that he supposedly said it on Oprah until after the fact. But anyway, they go on to say that in reality, the brand became popular within the hip hop community, and artists like Snoop Dogg and Tupac wore his clothing, helping to build a success, as discussed in the interview at The Guardian. The rumor is considered a horrible rumor from the 90s that was successfully dispelled. Let me say this. Here's the thing. It would almost be career suicide for somebody who the black community wears your clothing, for you to say something so ridiculous and blatantly racist. Because first of all, I wouldn't think that he would have said that. Tommy Hilfiger, like when I first heard that, I was thinking, okay, he probably did say it. But then I didn't know that they were saying it came from the Oprah show. But then when I heard that, I'm like, what kind of sense would that make for him to be on Oprah's show and say that? Oprah's black. You know what I'm saying? She has black and white people in her audience. So I just didn't think that made sense. To me, I feel like that story was probably, those stories were probably made up by some racist devils. Okay, I just feel like those stories were made for racist devils. That's made by racist devils who were probably hating because we got swag. And you know, when they were wearing Tommy Hilfiger before we were, it wasn't popping. When they were wearing Gucci before we were, it wasn't popping. Anything that they wore is all I'm saying. No matter how much it cost, the name brand that was on it was never popping until we wore it. And that's just the fact. We blew these people up. That's why they made all this money. That's why they still make all this money, because Black people started to wear their clothes. So it wouldn't make any sense to me for any of them, because we know they love money, right? It wouldn't make any sense for me to any of them to say that. It makes no sense. Okay? It makes no sense. All right? So with that all being said, but here's the thing. I don't spend my money on that type of stuff, okay? Because I'm not going to help them continue to build generational wealth while I'm sitting up here struggling, okay? We sitting up here struggling. Where's our land? Okay, I'm sorry. Where's our gold? But people out here spending money on these things. And here's the thing. That's just like slavery. Like I told you all, I've been telling you all for years. That is it's mental slavery. You're a vanity slave. You're caught up with name brands, which is just like they branded your ancestors. Okay, they used to brand your ancestors, put the names on them. And when you're out here spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on these name brand clothing items and whatnot, that's the same thing you're doing. That's why they call them name brands. Y'all don't get it? Okay, I've told y'all that more than 1,000 times at this point. Okay, Jay Gray said Tommy Hilfiger said his clothes were not meant for Black people. I think I just addressed that. He said he never said it. I don't have any proof that he actually did. And they said that he said it on Oprah. So Oprah said he didn't say it on there. And of course, that doesn't even make sense to me. So Terry Hinn said, that's exactly how I feel about Amazon. Nope, not putting money in his pocket. No. Okay. Ladybug said Nautica. Okay, yeah, everybody used to wear Nautica. Timberland, the CEO, don't want Black people wearing his clothes and footwear. Okay, so all of these people who Black people wear their clothes, they all said this. Y'all heard this about all these people. So that's how you know it can't be true. All these people couldn't have said that. Gloria Vanderbilt. Okay. At the end of the day, what I would suggest is what we do know is that we can look up, thanks to the internet and Google, we can look up the companies who support people like Trump. Okay, who support racist politicians and contribute hundreds of thousands of dollars to their campaigns. Okay. Pensilola said Hugo Boss too, allegedly. See, that's what I'm saying. This is white people making this stuff up. And that's just what it is. So that we won't wear the items. Haters. That's all it is. Racist haters. Okay, now I'm about to be up out of here. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed the live. All right. Don't forget the Queen's birthday is Friday. All right, my birthday is Friday. Okay, so we're gonna have fun. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do on here, if I'm gonna do anything on here. Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And until next time, peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got